And through it all, she offers me protection, love and affection. Whether I'm right or wrong, down the waterfall, God, Brad, you're flat, wherever. Okay, that's hopefully the last time you'll be hearing Angels this evening, but I make no guarantees because tonight...
It's only bloody Oktoberfest, mate! I'm so excited!
Brad has been literally chomping at the bit to get started on this one. It's a night of 6 lagers, silly hats, desperately questionable and cheap stash, and plans that have already gone wrong. Hence our slightly late running. So apologies for that. Let's get some beers in the glass. Guys, let us know what you're drinking at home. Let's get some beers in the glass.
Mate,
there we go. Have you got a bottle opener on you? Because...
I do.
Oh, thank God.
Of course I have, Johnny.
Thank God.
Anyone would think we're not pros at this by now.
We don't act like
it. Should I show everyone what we're drinking?
Please
everybody
do.
Hear us?
Please do. I think everyone can hear us. Everyone's saying cheers. Yes, boys, let's get drunk.
Yes.
Okay, then.
Gav, I like you,
night.
Gav. You've got the right idea, my man.
So there we go. That is what we are drinking. I'm going to bring that up on screen now. Paulana Oktoberfest is our first beer. Let us know what you're drinking at home. We know that about 60 of you bought tasting cases for tonight, so you can taste along with us, along with all the drunken nonsense, the unedited nonsense, the bottom fermented fun that's going to be happening. We will be educating you about these beers and teaching you some shit that you can talk about in the pub.
Doing you quite a large pour, Johnny.
Well, that's why I brought 2 glasses in. We're having full pints, mate.
Full pints. We're not
full
messing
pints
around.
on this. This is Oktoberfest. You don't get small pours at Oktoberfest.
No.
How far will he push it?
Ooh. Let's get a look at that pour. I mean, we all know what this stuff looks like, but...
Can I just say, given how far behind we were half an hour ago, the fact we've actually got the 2-cam setup going is remarkable.
Not going to spill it all over the expensive web equipment. There we go.
Please don't. Please don't. There we go. Guys, welcome to our version of Oktoberfest. I'm going to get it out of the way from the start. It's going to be a shit version, but hopefully we're going to have a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're very down on it, Johnny. It's going to be great, man. We're all here together. We're all drinking the same beers.
Yeah.
None of us can have true Oktoberfest this year.
No, sadly it has been cancelled. Yeah. Although while we were trying to find our Asian Oktoberfest video, I did see a news flash come up saying that Asian Oktoberfest has gone ahead.
Of course it has. They're not very sensible, are they?
No, well, I mean, they started the whole thing. So they're well ahead of us.
I don't want to sound xenophobic when I said that. Sorry. I just meant there have been a few. I remember when they opened some attraction and like 100,000 people went in China. To some
attraction that was.
It was like a beach or something.
Oh, that's outside.
It was like, whoa.
Oktoberfest is very much not.
Yeah, no.
Right, so we've got some drinking rules for this evening. Not university drinking rules, they're stupid. All of these are imported from Germany itself. The first one is, should the Ein Prosit song be sung by us? Which is what happens every 15 minutes at Oktoberfest. We should all imbibe a little bit. We'll just sprinkle the show with Ein Prosit.
Okay.
Which means a cheers.
You're going to have to teach me, Johnny, and teach everyone the words.
Oh, I'm going to teach you. First time we use it, I'll teach you it. I'll teach you it. So that's pretty much the only rule. Otherwise, the first rule of Oktoberfest Club is talk about it with all of your friends. Please, please, please get everyone to join us. It should be a lot of fun. So I propose a Prost.
Prost.
Prost. To Oktoberfest and to Germany, the greatest lager brewing nation on earth.
To Germany.
Probably. It's a mighty fine beer.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. So, should we address this elephant in the room? This elephant in the room? The chaos in the room? Which one should we do first?
I mean, I was sort of set to wear an even sillier outfit.
Were you?
Yeah. And then I just realised I couldn't find everything. I was going to wear some suspenders, not suspenders. What are they called? The things that hold your trousers. Suspenders? Not kinky suspenders that you wear on lingerie. But like the sort of old man suspenders, a white shirt, some shorts.
Yeah.
And then I just realised I didn't have all of that stuff. Right. So I went for this, the same as you.
So we got given this at London Craft Beer Festival last year.
Yeah.
I think. So Harbour, who make wonderful wild ales and perfectly good lager. Decided to have an Oktoberfest in August, and obviously Brad and I were drawn to it like moths to a flame.
It's pretty fun, I must admit.
Yeah, we got this pretty awesome stuff. What I love about yours, look at the suspenders on yours. Don't even match up. Where did they get this made?
Quality clobber.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Who knows? But I mean, it's held up for a wash, which I didn't think it would. So.
Braces, Andrew Clark.
Braces, not suspenders.
Not suspenders.
Brad could have suspenders on, and we just don't know.
I mean, like in the sort of "I Want to Break Free" video.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be rocking.
Get your Hoover out.
That's it.
And, yeah.
Should we have some pretzel, Johnny?
Let's have some pretzel.
Can we split a pretzel? Is that done? Oh.
Yeah, that's a fair split.
I feel like I sort of lost at that game. Bit like a sort of chicken wishbone.
So we were going to make our own pretzels because we were pressured into it by everybody else making their own pretzels. You guys have really gone to town for this event, and that makes us very happy. Ben from Filmbusters. There's another guy who baked them first, and I've completely forgotten his name. I did look it up before the show.
Was it Gav? No, it wasn't Gav.
Gav?
No, that was Gavin. There was a message just now.
Ah.
Andrew? Was it Andrew?
Oh, it might have been Andrew. Andy, yeah.
Andy.
But I had a bit of a day. So the beers that we will be tasting through were supposed to arrive yesterday, didn't arrive yesterday. So I went to the DHL pickup, stood there for an hour while they tried to find our parcel, never found it. So then what started was I can only describe as basically a really shit but slightly crafty version of the film Lock. Where I was driving around London, calling random people, trying to find out who had stock of the right beers. I think I'm as handsome as
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy,
not quite.
Oh,
but
just immediate dismissal.
Really devilishly handsome man, isn't he? He's potentially the next James Bond. Are you potentially the next James Bond? Not sure, Johnny.
Look at me.
Why
couldn't I be?
Yeah, I mean, we had a bit of a day of it, mate. Luckily, you did manage to get the beers.
We did manage to get the beers. So Beer Merchants Tap did come through. They had all the beers. And here we are with all of them relatively chilled. So that's why we're running so late today, because I was still driving a couple of hours ago trying to find the beers.
Yeah, and if you can't get them at Beer Merchants, Hot Burns Black had quite a lot of them when I rang them up. So
they did have at least
shout out to Hot Burns Black. They nearly saved the day there.
So let's dive into the comments. Let's see what people are drinking. Woo! Oh, we've got loads of comments. Thank you. Lots of Prost. Overtone in the glass. Making some fantastic beer, Overtone. They're Glasgow?
Glasgow.
I think they're Glasgow. Sam Congdon from Vessel Beer Shop is in. Got some Doppelbox. Stark Beer. I think I did put it live in the end. We do have a video from Stark Beer Fest, which is probably the drunkest I've been on camera, except for the Lagunitas incident.
Which we shall never talk about again.
Never talk
but you can go and look at it right now on the YouTubes.
Somebody's drinking Spartan. That's a lovely Oktoberfest beer. Deutschland über alles when it comes to lager. Homebrew Ghoster, keeping it German but going niche.
Wowza.
Strong from Rich Harper. I also appreciate your Chris Morris avatar. Yes, Jen says braces. Thank you very much for clearing that up. And so does Andrew Clark. Jen also says we're looking gorgeous. You're very charitable. Thank you.
I doff my cap to you, Jen.
Pee Wee Herman meets Indiana Jones.
I'm not sure which one. Which one's Pee Wee Herman? Which one's? I'm hoping I'm Indiana Jones because this is an Indiana Jones style hat.
I think you're both.
Shit.
Somebody else on the Spartan. Hey, Andy Parker from Elusive. How you doing? I've been editing your face all week for our homebrew pumpkin beer. And Andy was there in the LC. We had a beer to unwind just now, and that's gone straight to my head. Apparently, it was where the party was at.
We're making. Are we allowed to say that we're making a pumpkin homebrew? You just said it.
Yeah, I did say it. Yeah. That's going live in a couple of weeks.
There we go.
The beer is currently fermenting away very happily. All we haven't sourced is the coffee yet.
Yeah,
I've emailed basically every roastery in London asking if they'll do a little bit with us, and we'll see who comes back first. Not all the roasteries, all the good roasteries. Somebody's got a homebrew Eyinger. Go on.
Bloody hell.
666 cunt rag.
Oh.
Wow.
Johnny, I don't know why you just said that out loud. That's offensive.
Maybe it's Kuntrag.
Kuntrag.
Or, yeah, who knows? Kuntrag. Yeah, we'll go with that. Brad, you're looking great. Wear it next time you go out. Oh, we go out.
Thanks, Pete.
Oh, okay. Is that somebody you know? That's somebody...
No, I don't know Pete.
Oh, right. There you go. You got a new friend.
Well, I mean, we all kind of know each other via the medium of the YouTubes.
That's very true.
Whatnot, but love to you, Peter. I haven't got any comments to make about Chelsea because I don't like football. So
no, Brad doesn't.
I'm sort of agnostic when it comes to football. But what do you reckon about Chelsea?
It's put me on the spot. I remember being about 10 and watching Chelsea lose to Man United 4-0, and I think there was a player called something Peacock, which made me laugh every time I heard his name. What else have we got? We've got some Scarfell from Northern Monk being drunken.
Ben said he'd already had some brats. We've got some brats.
Ben's already had the brats.
No, you've gone way past it, I think.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
No, I don't think I had. No, there we go. There we go. There's Ben and his brats.
Ben did he put on Twitter a photo of his stash that he bought. I don't know when he bought it, but he had it today. And it looked amazing, to be honest.
It did.
He'd gone big.
He'd gone all out, yeah.
He got brats from the Sausage Man, who is the best importer of all kind of German sausages in the UK. He looked like he had some amazing pretzels. I don't know where they got those from. And he also had these the standard like German mustard that you would get.
Zenf.
Yeah, he had that. Yeah. Which I was like, well, that's a pro move right there.
Big fan of what you're doing.
Yeah, man.
Somebody's on the Golden Drac, so you're passing out first. Congratulations.
Is that a dragon or something?
Golden, yeah, I think it's Golden Dragon. Oh. It's a very strong Belgian triple. If it's the
night, Jez. Sorry.
I'm really pleased to see so many Oktoberfest beers being drunk. That's great. Except for this black IPA. I'm on the Zollerhof. I don't know Zollerhof. Tell me about Zollerhof, Emil. Hofbräu Dunkel, Pumpkin King from Brewdog. Oh, was a favourite of mine. It's not what you're drinking. I quite like pumpkin beer, but I love the spices. We were chatting about this with Andy for the video. I won't spoil too much, but we don't know how much actual flavour is added by the pumpkin.
By the pumpkin, yeah.
Although our gravity, Andy, our original gravity came out way higher than we intended. We ended up at 0.68. And I think we were shooting for 0.60.
Zero.
Possibly. So I think we got some from the pumpkin. I don't know. We thought our mash had been really inefficient, and then maybe it wasn't. It's almost like we're not very good brewers. We need to learn more. We've got some people from Latvia, Tika Brewing. Thanks for joining us,
awesome.
Andre Anges. Apologies for bastardizing your name.
Hey Latvia, how's it going in Latvia, man? How's life?
I hope it's better than it is here.
I'd like to go to Latvia. I hear there's some good beer out there.
Somebody had some German beers, but they haven't arrived yet, but not beer merchants. Good. Glad other people are letting people down at the last minute. There's so much homebrew stuff. This is why our homebrew stuff is doing so well. There's so many homebrewers out there making great stuff. Coffee and chocolate dry stout, loving the sound of that.
Can I just, while we've got a captive audience here, can I just say we've got a podcast, haven't we, Johnny?
We do.
We've got a podcast, which is called The Bubble, and you can find it on Spotify and all kinds of streaming platforms.
All the platforms.
It's great. We've got some long format stuff that you do, and we've also got a sort of Friday catch up between me and you about what we've been up to, a week in beer, as it were, and just talking a load of nonsense usually.
A bit of beer news. We talk about the videos. We talk about the comments in the videos. We take recorded questions from viewers, and it's probably the silliest we get. Yeah,
I think it's great. It's unedited nonsense. Usually Johnny has to cut a load of waffle out, but this, if you tune in, you get to hear all the crazy shit that we talk about. Plus, if you want to be a part of it, send us a voicemail. Send us a voice message. Sorry. Of a question. If you've got any kind of question you want to ask us about beer or maybe life, as long as it's not offensive, we will probably play it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can do that by emailing craftbeerboys, all one word. We didn't come up with it. The third member who left it @gmail.com, and we'll put that in the show. Also, while we're doing the plugs, please do, if you want a question answered immediately, if you want to support our channel, you can use the super chat setting on YouTube where you just donate. I think it's from £1 upwards, and we'll stop everything. We'll even stop an Ein Prosit and answer your question there and then. The next opportunity we have as a thank you for your donation. Shall we talk about beer for a bit, Brad?
Yeah. What's everyone making of this bad boy? Are we all enjoying this? I've lost the head now, Johnny. I'm a little bit sad about that.
Your glasses weren't clean enough, apparently. Right, so let's talk about Oktoberfest. So Oktoberfest started in 1810.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally, basically, there was a wedding between Ludwig III, I reckon, and a beautiful Mädchen. And he wanted to let everybody celebrate. So what he did was he basically said, there's going to be a party on this field. I think it was in October. And he said, on the day of the wedding, we're going to put a load of beer out there and you can just have some fun.
So it's basically an outdoor rave.
Yeah, basically. Although any historian is already picking holes in it. But basically, it was a party on a field. Yeah. He just went, here's some beer.
Amazing.
Now, one of those breweries is still brewing today and is still an Oktoberfest brewery, and that is Hackashore. So they're actually now owned by Paulaner.
Yeah.
So they were brewing there on that very first day. Since 1810, there has been a beerish festival on that site every year except for during the World Wars, and I think maybe a bit of flu stopped it at some point as well. Until, of course, this year when we had to stop it as well.
The Spanish flu?
Maybe the Spanish flu, or maybe a bit of cholera. Some kind of epidemic stopped it, much like it did this year. But fast forward to modern day, there's 6 breweries that can serve at the official Oktoberfest, which is held on the Weissen, which is the area. And they are Paulaner, Hackashore, Augustiner, Spaten. Oh God! The pressure is failed.
I've never been to
Löwenbräu and Hofbräuhaus.
There you go.
There we go.
Hot Boy House.
Hofbräu.
Hot Boy
House. There's an umlaut. It's not Hot Boy House.
Hot Boy House.
Very different bar in Berlin, in Munich, I'm sure. And those guys, they're defined as the Oktoberfest breweries, the breweries that can, because they draw their water from the ground source underneath Munich. So that's kind of the
that's
rule.
The criteria.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like sort of Del Boy Peckham Spring style. You've got to be like local to Munich to sort of claim it.
Exactly.
The provenance.
So
the terroir.
The terroir.
I love it.
So Paulaner are one of the older breweries. They were founded in 1634. Their story is kind of cool as well. So they founded themselves on the Nockeberg Mountain, which I assure you is barely a mound.
It's a mountain, Johnny. They're proud of that mountain.
You can walk up it in around about 3 or 4 minutes.
How are they categorizing this as a mountain then?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the Germans. Maybe Berg means something. I mean, Berg means mountain as far as I'm aware.
There's a film about, is it in Wales, like the man who walked up a hill and came down a mountain or something? Is that set in Wales? Was it something to do with redesignating a hill to be a mountain or something? But it has to be a certain height, I believe, to be a mountain.
Yeah, and that's definitely whatever it is. It's not the 150 meters that the Nockeberg is.
Right.
So they found it up on top of there, and they found records of the first record they have of Paulaner is when the other monasteries. So these are all monastery breweries at the time. Complained about how not so much how good Paulaner was, but how it was taking over the town because it was really good.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the first record they have of the Paulaner monks.
They're pretty rowdy.
Brother Bananabus. Banana
Brother Banana Man. Bernardus.
I can't remember. There's people correcting me in the comments, so they'll know better than me already.
Saint Bernardus.
So it's Ludwig and Teresa.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thanks, checking Santa. Gilliam, what did you?
Yeah, there you go.
Great name.
And yeah, Sam pointed out Löwenbräu, who I'd forgotten. Anyway, so what's really interesting, here's a little story for you.
Go on.
So a couple of years ago, when I was working at Cave Direct, an importer of amazing German beer,
yes,
which is why I know so much about Paulaner, because they were the importer, we tried to hold an Oktoberfest event with the guys from London Craft Beer Festival. We were like, let's marry how good you are with events with everything that's great about German beer culture. We held it for 1 year. It didn't sell very well. And also we messed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we ordered, it was all Hackashore branded rather than Paulaner. We thought we'll go for something niche and we'll grow that brand and we'll have some fun with this. It's a very camp, very much loved and very historic brand in Bavaria. We ordered the wrong beer.
Oh dear.
So there are actually 2 kind of Oktoberfest beers. These are not the beers that would have been served even 30 or 40 years ago.
No.
So these are much paler, not really technically Marzens, which is what would have been served there. So it would have been a Marzen, which is named after March, which is supposed to be brewed in March and lagered for the whole of summer, served up at Oktoberfest when the winter comes around.
Got you. Nice.
And it's much darker,
right,
much more kind of licoricey and bitter, a bit closer to the box that Paulaner got famous for brewing back in the 1600s. And at some point, they decided that people preferred paler beer. Probably
the Czechs might have had something.
The Czechs might have had something to do with it.
Yeah,
because the Pilsner just went across the earth and changed everything.
Check out our video from was that last week? Week before, 2 weeks ago, about explaining what is Pilsner,
which has brought out all of the pedants. Oh, okay. Thank you, Lords Brewing Co. We're two sauce devils, not saucy devils.
John, I think you meant saucy devils. Although I am launching a sauce brand. Launching a sauce brand.
You're launching a sauce brand.
Yeah. It's called Dirty.
Sorry, are we in the marketing meeting right now?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm blue sky thinking right now. It's called Dirty Ambition. No, Dirty. I want to say Dirty Sanchez, but that would be a terrible name for a sauce
guys,
brand.
Can you give us name? What's the sauce like? What is the sauce?
It's hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to give it.
It's a really, really hot sauce.
Really, really hot sauce. Dirty something. Brad needs an idea for his hot sauce.
Or it could be like the devil's bumhole or something.
No,
not that.
No,
that's a terrible
nobody's
name.
going to drink that. Dirty something. Hot sauce. There we go. Okay. Right. So I'm being mocked roundly for my my down low of what Oktoberfest is.
Should we crack another beer, Johnny?
Well, no, wait. I haven't even talked about this beer yet.
Let's talk about it. I've nearly done it.
Right. So the Marzen was brewed in March, stored over summer, and it was a darkish, like proper, like dark amber, licoricey, bitter, strong beer. Right. This one is a paler version of that.
Very pale.
More easy drinking, and this is what they now serve at Oktoberfest. But lots of them still sell the Oktoberfest Marzen, which is the original.
Right.
So these are not the original. These are way too blonde.
Can you be too blonde? If you're German in Oktoberfest.
Next live show, I hope you turn up blonde.
Do you know what? Over lockdown, me and my friend Tommy were talking about dyeing our hair blonde. And my girlfriend vetoed it.
She was right.
Because I wanted to look like, what's his name?
An idiot.
Brody out of Point Break. Bang! You know, that guy's a cool fucker. So I was like, I want to look like that dude. Surf dude. Kurt Cobain, my all-time hero. I was like, over lockdown, maybe I'll do that. But I was vetoed. I wasn't allowed to do it. Told me she'd dump me, Johnny.
That is a bit strong. If all she loves you for is your hair.
I know. Not my sparkling wits and personality.
This is the person who just 2 minutes ago was like, dirty bumhole. Sparkling
Devil's
wit.
bumhole.
Right.
Someone just said they wanted to invest anyway.
Wait. So Johnny, put your hat on straight. Where's Jeff? I think my hat was on straight. And now I'm just staring at the camera trying to get that right.
Jeff has been locked out of the room, but I will open the room up when I go and get...
Jeff will make an appearance.
When I get the snags, which is Australian for sausages, which is English for brats.
That was accurate. I enjoyed that. Yeah. So Jeff will make an appearance. I don't know. Her appearance might be related to how many super chats we get. Right. Let's go through what you think we should call this hot sauce. Dirty Jezebel hot sauce. Dirty Ringer. Quite like that.
Dirty Ringer. Good name.
Nice live show. Terrible name. But thank you for complimenting the live show. Johnny has a girlfriend, poor woman. Johnny has a wife.
Johnny has got a ring on it right there.
Got a ring on it only a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Brad's has the missus. It's been cleared up. We still haven't talked about this fucking beer. So, right. Think of a Helles, right?
Yeah.
Helles compared to a Pilsner is more malty sweet, honeyed, grainy. Pilsners are more caramel from the malt, and then loads and loads of bitterness and complexity from the decoction. We will get onto decoction later. So this is just amped up. Think about Edelstoff from Augustina, like richer, more sticky caramel, kind of golden syrup notes. Do you agree?
I totally agree, mate. And I just had a thought there, just flashed through my head, which is I've got a giant. What is it? The biggest stein that they do that has the can inside it.
Mass.
I've got a mass in my glass cupboard when I got these earlier. But you arrived too late. I was going to mention it.
You have a mass?
Yeah, but it's also got the can in it from about 10 years ago, which I imagine is going to taste fucking horrible.
Well, maybe we should give that a go.
We should probably crack that in a bit because they're just massive. Like, you could definitely murder someone with a mass. You could do a mass murder.
Yes!
Whoa!
Yes! Sparkling wit!
I froze it! I froze it!
Gemütlich! Right, so when we do that, we then go 1, 2, Zuffer, and then you drink. So 1, 2, 3, Zuffer! I forgot the 3. Cheers, guys. Bradley, that was...
Come on, that was pretty good. A mass murder.
That was...
Boom! Knocked it out of the park!
If we, in Homebrew, ever make an Oktoberfest beer, it's called Mass Murder.
Come on.
Yes.
Because you're going to be slaying them.
Yeah. Let's not hammer it home. I think we'll just move on like we're super cool. Oh, that just makes me look so bold. It's really off-putting having yourself here. Every time they say brats, I die a little. Probably long gone by now.
What do you want us to say? Bratwurst?
Bratwurst.
We've got bratwurst as well. We've got options, Johnny.
We've got rot and weiß or brat or...
We've got brat and we've got bock.
There you go. Isn't that the chant from Cool Runnings? Which one? I'm Prozac.
Wait. Chant from Cool Runnings.
I hope so.
Don't they say... When I say, oh, Jamaica's got a bobsleigh team. I don't know what the chant is. Oh, feel the rhythm, feel the ride.
Chris Brown asks, why are we wearing man bras? Admittedly, I need that, but that's not a man bra.
I mean, I have developed man tits over lockdown. I have not been able to go swimming, Johnny.
Right.
I've put on some timber, mate.
There's the Thames, a couple of miles up north.
I mean, I don't want to get the bloody bubonic plague. I'm already facing one mass extinction event. I don't need to jump in the river and get Weil's disease or something.
Thanks, Jim. No, you don't need to. I inspired that. Yeah, everybody's getting this. Können Sie Deutsch sprechen, Johnny? Ja, ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch. Ich habe jetzt seit vielleicht 20 Jahren Deutsch gesprochen.
Wow.
Ich glaube.
I was reading, I can't speak another language. I was reading the other day that people that are multilingual dream differently.
Well, that won't include me. I'm sure I put about 10.
So if you're multilingual, you dream differently, and also you kind of you see the world differently. So there are expressions in English where we say how big something is in terms of weight, and in other I think it's Britain and Sweden they say in terms of weight, and then somewhere else they say in terms of length. So like a distance versus weight kind of thing, and it kind of alters, and you can switch between how you sort of perceive the world by thinking in different languages.
I mean, I bet it does.
It's kind of amazing.
I still find it mad that people think in other languges.
Yeah, you can think.
You just assume they think in English, which is English exceptionalism.
Yeah,
right there. Bradley, we're moving on. Oh, I'm not going to give you my beer. I'm going to give you the bottle opener. So we're moving on to Augustina Helles, a worldwide classic. Although, if you speak to Germans, generally they don't love it as much as the export markets. So if you are German and you don't love Augustina, or if you're German and you do love Augustina, let me know why that might be. Is it just a bit predictable?
I tell you what, Johnny, I'd love some Oktoberfest questions for the Bubble podcast. So if anyone's got any that we can talk about this Friday or next Friday even, that would be excellent.
Nailed it.
I nailed that too. Usually I pour a terrible pint.
You are a bad pourer. That's why I always do it in all of the videos. That, because I've got really good at pouring and talking. Every time I do a lot of podcasts for Good Beer Hunting, and people really struggle with it. Like they'll be about to pour and you're like, hey, this is nice. You know, we're combining two things, so we're not losing any time. And then they'll go, and then do you know what happened? And they'll just stop. And you're just like...
Yeah. As Gok One would say, it's all about the confidence, mate.
Right.
You know, it's about owning it and knowing that you can do those two things at once.
Is he still going? I haven't heard from him in a long time.
I hope he's not dead. He's not dead.
I don't think he's dead. I think we'd know.
He wasn't
about
that old. He wasn't
But
an old man.
I don't know, like
Maybe he stepped
Queer
away
Eye
from the line.
just sort of took over the makeover show.
Maybe.
I mean, it is amazing. Queer Eye is one of my favorite shows.
Pretty good.
I love it.
I don't know why I'm doing that.
What was that?
I was going to go like this.
Oh, you're doing like a bit of a Jonathan impression.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Baby Mo Man.
Yeah. There's also like an English version of that, which has got this great guy with amazing hair who looks great. But his face is like weird, like he's had like fish lips made and stuff.
Oh no.
But he's very funny. I like it. I don't know what it's called. It's on Netflix as well. This is what I was going to say when you were talking about the history of Oktoberfest.
Yeah, go on.
Netflix, Johnny, they've got a series that just popped up this week it's called Oktoberfest, and it's a German language dubbed over series that is historic founding of Oktoberfest.
No fucking way.
Yeah, man, and I've not watched it yet, but I was like, that looks fucking cool. It looks like a Baz Luhrmann film.
Oh my God.
It's like way over the top. They've got like, giant, like all these like candlelit tents that the cameras are like zooming through, and there's like a protagonist who's a bit of a bastard who's going like, fuck you, and he's like
it's not a documentary, it's like a
no, it's like high budget, probably a bit fake, glossy Baz Luhrmann, over the top like glam founding of Oktoberfest. It looks kind of cool.
It does sound like a lot
pretty
of fun.
good.
We'll give it a go. It has to be better than what's that awful film? Is it called Beer Fest?
Beer Fest, yeah.
They tried to make American Pie, but
yeah,
and it was horrible, reductive shit.
Yeah.
Anywho, let's dive into the comments about this next beer. How many Oktoberfest deaths are there per annum? Oh my God, horror movie based on Oktoberfest. Called Mass Murder.
I think we're overplaying Mass Murder now. We'll keep that to our homebrew.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. Been to Oktoberfest 6 times ago, back in the 70s. Too many people these days.
Corey Holbrook.
What was it like in the 70s? How big was it? Was it like super family orientated, still outside, and then the tents with drinking dens of slightly camp?
Is your avatar, Corey? Is that you? Because you look really cool, man. I like it.
What does that say?
What is that? What is
Giants, that? San Francisco Giants.
You've got like a sort of shield, like an American hero, kind of like what's his name? Captain America type shield, but with a football team on it. Does that say NHS Heroes? No, does that say NHS? What?
No, Bradley.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a date.
Okay,
anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, let's go on.
Had an Augustiner in the brewery in Munich. First pint out of the barrel, bucket list shiz. The Augustiner Brauhaus, the garden is amazing when you get it straight out of the wooden barrels. So it's weird. Those barrels are slightly... it's a bit of a lottery. Sometimes I've been in Munich and had it straight out of the barrel and it just tastes, just like liquid bread. And sometimes you have it and it's metallic as hell, like really oxidized. But it is a definite bucket list.
So what are we saying? It's inconsistent.
Inconsistent, yeah. It's the risk you take. You want to be the first out of the barrel. You don't want to be the last out.
Yeah.
Mark the Gas Man says, yeah.
Nice.
We didn't pay a cent for these.
I know an Andy the Gas Man. You're not related to Andy the Gas Man, are you?
Are they all gas men?
No, Andy the Gas Man was Jamie Oliver's friend who used to do this thing called stretch dancing, where he would do this really exuberant dancing at events that we used to go to.
Can I say cheese in Norwegian? No. Käse? Something.
We were also the brown cheese. What do they call that? What's the name of that?
The brown cheese.
I tell you what, brown cheese and cloudberries. Ice cream. Brown cheese, cloudberry ice cream. That is a fucking thing.
It was brown cheese ice cream with cloudberries.
Cloudberries on the side.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That shit's great. And cloudberries, you can't commercially grow those. They are just wild picked, I believe.
Why can't you?
I do not know why you can't, but I know one of our friends in northern Norway told me that you cannot commercially grow them. They're like too wild. They won't have it. They'll just die.
Sounds
they're like fuck you,
like an old wives' tale. Apparently, Beer 52 did a great Oktoberfest box. What was in that? I'd love to know. This is a great comment. I drank some Augustiner while baked once. Just tasted lemons. Anytime since, I just taste lemons. I find it interesting, right? So this beer, I don't know if anybody else gets this. Let me know what you're getting from this beer. It's slightly, I'm going to choose my words carefully after a sip. slightly dank. Anybody else get dankness? Like green, fresh, overly fresh hop. There's something funky.
I need to blow my nose. Normally I'd go out.
Ein Prosit, Gemütlichkeit. Eins, zwei, drei, super. Bless you. There we go.
It's quite zingy. It's got like a zestiness.
Yeah, there's lemon. There's green, danky, almost like green hop, kind of like really delicate hop aroma thing.
It's great. I mean, this is, well, like you said, maybe it's not that big in Germany, but like...
Oh, no, it's huge in Germany. It's just not geeky in Germany.
It's not geeky.
In the UK, you're cool if you drink Augustiner.
Yeah, this is cool. Is that a kind of... Is it a hipster drink then, do we think?
In the UK, it is.
Because, I mean, obviously that label is like amazing. If you compare it to like a Paulaner one. It looks like, I don't know, well, you've obviously all got this at home.
Only about 30, 40 people do.
I just want to show this. I want to flash this up again for people that haven't got this. But did anyone watch this 1960s television series, The Munsters? Because the granddad, this looks like Grandad Munster. Big time.
I do know what you mean.
I love that show as a kid. I thought it was amazing. Yeah, I can't remember what his name was. All I remember is Eddie Munster, who was a little vampire-like child. Which, if you think about it, is like the worst kind of vampire because you never grow old. And that's been in many films, hasn't it, Johnny? It's been in Interview with Vampire. And I think it's probably been in What We Do in the Shadows. There are children vampires in that. It must be a terrible existence to never come to maturity, Johnny, and always be perpetually a child.
The famous, is it Swedish or Norwegian horror film?
Yeah,
Let Me In. Let the right one in.
Yeah.
Let Me In was the American version that was shit.
That was shit, yeah.
Let the right one in, where she's like hundreds of years old, but she's still a child.
Yeah, yeah.
So only children will really talk.
Incredible, yeah.
It's an amazing film. Anywho, let's dive into this. Gok has pivoted to a cookery show on the Food Channel. Go on,
get out! Has he? That's kind of... Look, to be honest, I was going to say it's kind of shit.
Does he cook with a wok?
Can you say that?
Gok and a wok.
Gok and a wok. Yeah. Gok and a wok.
Gok on a wok.
What about...
Not in a wok.
What about...
Using a wok.
If Gok went to America...
Yeah.
And he's pro-gun, so it could be Gok with a Glock cooking in a wok.
Gok says cook on a wok or else he'll point
his cock
at you. No. This has gone south so early. Beer and Blood, great name for a horror film in Oktoberfest. Augustina in Salzburg, 400-year-old abbey, different from Munich. So there's two. Oh, I did know that.
Salzburg.
There are two Augustinas. Yes.
Corey coming back with the facts, man.
Back with the fact.
Love it, Corey. We need to make a film about that. Which is the better? Is it aligned? Are they the same Augustinas? They're totally separate.
Totally separate Augustinas, yeah.
So they haven't got the cool Monsters logo.
Sam Congdon says it's not historic, it's Peaky Blinders meets Oktoberfest.
What is?
I think that's the documentary we were talking about that's Baz Luhrmann-esque.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it wasn't. I'm sorry. I just want to talk about the fact that he said Peaky Blinders-esque. So it's German, right?
Yeah.
And they've dubbed it over with Brummy accents. It is. When I watched the trailer, I was like, "Are you taking the piss?"
Is that like where they've gone like, "What's popular?"
Yeah. It's so shit. It's like, I mean, it looks amazing, like Baz Luhrmann. But yeah, it's got a Peaky Blinders vocal talent.
That's called Beer and Blood. Right. Okay. You guys are so far ahead of us. Okay, I'm sorry, we're getting behind in the comments. We're trying to keep up. This is intense. This is the most we've kind of had in terms of everyone kicking in. So thank you. This is good.
On, let's have another bit of this. I've got to say, I've lost again. I bloody lost again.
You have that. You're terrible at this. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think that means hello from Mexico. We've had a couple of people say that. So hello to Mexico. Very excited to have you here.
I'd love to go to Mexico, Johnny.
Right, here we go. Great question from the name we won't say. Mm-hmm. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm Merkel all the way. I'm just going to get all of this off. I'm just going to rip it off.
And there's a tattoo.
Pilsner till I die. Yeah. I mean, like, it's about as good as it gets, isn't it, really? Not to put a dampener on this evening's proceedings. Like, I've never been to Oktoberfest, Johnny.
You haven't?
The channel has never taken me there. You used to go with work, and I was always incredibly jealous. And there was one year when you were like, Neil's gonna like pony up, you're gonna come out with us. And I thought, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why is he gonna pay for me to go? But I was so into it. And then I think right at the last minute he said, actually, he's not gonna pay. And I was like, makes sense.
Cool story, Bruder.
Yeah.
Right.
Love to go, mate. That guy,
one day
Corey's
will
went
be
six times in a row, right? Is that what we said?
Not in a
No,
row.
in the 70s. Six times in the 70s. Wow.
This is a great question. So when we did our Pilsner video, What is Pilsner? In which we explained also what Helles is and the variations you can have. We then did a poll on Facebook. And on Facebook, everybody was like, Helles.
Yeah.
Helles forever.
Yeah.
I then did the same poll on Twitter. And it was not everybody, but most people were picking Pilsner. It was like 65% Pilsner. So let us know, Czech Pilsner or German Helles. Because German Pilsner, as we will learn later tonight, is a slightly different thing.
It's a weird
But you're still
distinction
Czech.
across the... Yeah, I'm Czech, 100%. My best beer experiences have been out in Czech.
In the Czech Republic, yeah.
I
mean, I'm Czech. But
I would say if you've got, a certain amount of budget to spend, if you're in Europe and you want to go somewhere else in Europe to get amazing beer, and you don't want giant Belgian beers that are going to make you like fall on the floor after half a pint, go out to Czech, drink all day, eat amazing like pork and stews and all this kind of stuff. It's a nation that's like, it's built for drinking, man. It's fucking great.
And it comes in a serve that's just like...
Yeah, that's it.
Serve small, keep cold. The Kolsch kind of approach as well.
Yeah, and it's cheap. And like, this kind of beer should be affordable. Yeah. And it should be like drunk as fresh as you can get it. It's divine. I don't think you get much better beer experience, man.
Or a fresh IPA or fresh lager.
Yeah.
At source. Right, so the poll was already happening before I even asked people to do it. But there we go. Nathan's done some research. He says in 2013 there were 0 deaths but 449 violent assaults and 58 brawls.
Involving beer glasses.
Oh.
I mean, that sounds like a Friday night on Wetherspoons in Catford. So not too bad. Germany, well done.
Yeah, it probably is one night in Catford.
Yeah.
Augustine, the restaurant, is great to have a break from the craziness of Hofbräuhaus. 100%. Also, the Schneiderweiss tap room, which is not that far down from Hofbräuhaus, really fucking good. And, Weiss beer it's something I always forget about, and then I have one, and I'm like, shit. It's a really exciting, delicious, warming, kind of heady style. Like, there's so much flavor to those beers. So I always love going to Schneiderweiss. I love Tap 6, the Aventinus, which is like that dark one that's really raisiny, datey, crazy, datey banana raisiny thing. And then I love the Hopfenweiss, which was originally a collab with Brooklyn, I think. And it's an 8.2% wheat beer with amazing hop notes. Brown cheese in Norwegian is brunost.
Brunost. And what about cloudberries?
I did know that. I can't remember.
Brown cheese is amazing. If nobody's had it, it's so sweet, and the way they make it is they boil it and condense it down.
It's the caramelized whey.
The whey.
So it's not technically cheese, I think.
Not the curd, not the cheese curd. It's
it's not the curd.
It's the sweet. It's the sweet part, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, so whey is all the proteins and less of the sugars, but if you cook it right down, you get sweet again. So I think it's caramelized whey.
Whatever it is, it takes a lot of effort to bloody make it.
And it's Vegar's on this. Calabrese is multe.
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 Nice.
Multe bene. That's a different language. Weiss beer is the only beer that makes me, an Icelander, want to sit outside in 25-degree weather. It's a wonderful summer drink. That must happen pretty rarely in Iceland.
I was thinking that. I was like, 25-degree weather?
In London, it's only maybe a month of the year, but never in a row.
Yeah.
San Diego craft beers are the best. That old argument. Your IPAs, maybe. Urweisse. What's Urweisse? Again, Emil telling me stuff I don't know. I'd love to hear about the Urweisse.
Crazy. He's making it up on the spot, I think. He's just trying to fox us.
We can confirm almost never 25 degrees in Iceland. We skipped about 60 comments, did we?
Oh, shit.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay. Oh, God. Guys, this is amazing. I'm so sorry. We're 45 minutes in as well. I'm going bold. No, I've always been going bold. This is the most interaction we've ever had. Bless you all. Is Gog pro Glock?
I don't think he is pro Glock. No, he's a lover, not a fighter.
Sean here has learned to add drama to his comments. So I can confirm Gok's Cuckoo Show involves a minute later walk.
Classic.
Gok Kwan's wok pan.
Boy, strong.
T-Fowl need to jump on that immediately.
That is strong. You know, I've actually designed the logos on the bottom of T-Fowl pans.
While we were at Jamie's?
Yeah, within my career as a graphic designer. I've designed you got the hotspot on the top. I've designed those.
The hotspot on the top of Gok Kwan's
hotspot on the top of Gok Kwan's cock. Glock.
Wok. Glock. No,
sorry. His wok, not his cock.
I don't even know anymore.
Not a woks, but I've done the hotspot on the top of T-Fowl wok. It's great. I say it was great. It took about 10 minutes. It was really easy. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, guys, I apologize for missing those 60 comments there. There's lots of gold. Hopsine talking about the Rob from Hopsine talking about the terrible British dub voices. And
so basically everybody's watched it apart from us.
Yeah, it does seem.
And I was gonna watch it, and then I didn't have any time to, but I really wanted to. Rob.
So these are the comments.
Rob, do you recommend it then? I don't know why I'm waiting.
If he can reply immediately.
He's not going to reply immediately. So there's a delay. He's probably gone now. He's probably gone. These idiots are like drunk and talking nonsense and wearing men's bras and talking about Gok Kwan's wok.
I'm glad you said wok because that's going
wok
south.
A difference.
I'm not going to put
wok a difference a beer makes.
Jason is currently drinking the Augustine Oktoberfest beer. I have a bottle at home. I don't. No, you don't.
No.
I didn't bring it.
No,
didn't bring it.
Thanks for not bringing it.
I think that is my favourite at Oktoberfest, the Augustino. It's either that or the Hackashore. I think those are the two best. The tent at Augustine, the Augustino tent is amazing. It feels like Christmas.
Yeah.
You walk in and it's like big trees and beautiful red banners, and it just feels really warm.
Slade in there. They're just. Oh, I wish it could be Christmas.
It says it's Oktoberfest every day.
I wish it could be Oktoberfest every day. When the
Prost, meine Freunde, hier ist zu guter Gesundheit. Danke schön. Whatever German is for right back at you. Und du, dir. Zurück.
You know it.
Well, that means like return. I don't know whether that's how you can use it. Maybe I said zurück, du, or zurück, sie, because we don't know each other.
I'm envious. I don't know a different language. I tried to learn French at school.
Do you remember we were in the Czech Republic and we tried to say like we want to order these beers and she didn't understand us in English. So I just went Alice and she went, ah.
Yeah. So
it was all good. And Brad was like, oh my God, you just spoke a foreign language. I said all in German.
All of them.
It was not. Oh, somebody's on the Swish. Love Swish. If you haven't seen the fact that we went to Bissell Brothers, they were part of our documentary, and we did a piece just on them. Love those guys. Pete Bissell, great guy, also owns a lobster restaurant that's fucking amazing. Great moon pie.
High Rollers?
High roller lobster, yeah.
Great brand, great merch, great lobster rolls. Not that I'm a big lobster roll guy. Moon pie. I like the moon pies. Isn't that a Grandad Simpsons? Doesn't he say, "Oh, moon pie"?
No, that's he's the guy that gets the football to the groin.
Yeah.
Moon pie.
Moon pie.
What a time to be alive.
It's a great Simpsons moment. Here's a good question. If you're doing 101 to beer... If you were doing 101 to beer festivals that are good to go to but have not been over-commercialized, what would you say? Okay, so small beer festivals. There's great... Brett Will Eat, an amazing festival. Well,
we've got our beer festival that we've got in our imaginations, Johnny. That will happen, like Wayne's World style.
Which one?
The one that we've got in our imaginations that's going to happen one day.
Is it called Dirty something?
It's called the Devil's Ring Piece. It's called It's called Gox. Wox. I don't know what it's called. I'd love to do a beer festival. We're going to be potentially involved in London Beer Festival if it's allowed to happen.
Yeah, we are teaming up with those guys, and
I don't know if it's going to happen, man. I feel like there's going to be some announcements going to stop everything.
Wait, Victoria.
Oh,
Prague has amazing microbrews. Yes, you do. And we went to lots of them in a video we did about where to drink in Prague. We drank open fermented pilsner on a boat.
We did. Oh, I love that experience, man.
That was great. We got
the boat wasn't moving, sadly, but it was kind of moving.
It was moving in the water. And they had their open fermenters on like axles, so that when the boat rocked, the beer wouldn't. It was amazing. Yes. Absolutely amazing.
I can't remember what. The British Navy and other navies used to have the compasses that were like rotatable on there. They had like it's called like a bosun something. I can't remember what it's called. Amazing bit of kit anyway. That was like a gyroscopic weighted thing that would like keep something upright.
A gyroscope.
Yeah, gyroscope. Yeah, gyroscope.
That was super cool.
But they had gyroscopic fermenters, didn't they?
Victoria, tell us some amazing microbreweries. I can't remember the names of them off my head, and I couldn't pronounce them at the time. But in our video on where to drink in Prague, which you can just search for in YouTube, we talk about all the breweries that we went to and all the great bars as well. Like, you can just drink amazing lager in traditional small places, or you can go to like really nerdy craft
I like
beer
the place
bars.
that was a bit out, and it was built into the side of a hill, which kept it real cold.
That was
which had the kind of rude sounding name. On your titcher.
Their beer is sensational, and they really inspired Notch, which is one of our favourite breweries in the world.
Yeah. Evan Rail is our friend out there.
Evan Rail's our friend.
If you ever go to Prague and you're a beer guy, try and get in contact with Evan Rail. He'll give you the best time in Prague in your life. Maybe not the best time, the beeriest time. I imagine you could have all sorts of times in Prague.
Yeah.
But certainly he will show you an amazing beer time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Andrew Clark knows where it's at. He says Hackashore Oktoberfest probably the best one. It's close to the Marzens. They also have a proper Marzens as well. But yeah, it is more amber than the Paulana one we had, which was surprisingly blonde. I don't remember it being quite that blonde. Chris Brown asks, what languages do you speak? Hopefully that's to everyone else, because I've got maybe 10% of German. And Brad...
I can swear in Japanese.
There you go. So...
if anyone's interested in any sort of swear words in Japanese, I can be really offensive. Because I had a friend called Hiroshi Korea who was from Kobe, and he used to be one of my best friends. And then he totally disowned me. So we went to St. Martin's Art School together, and then he went on to Royal College of Art and just totally disowned all of us.
Oh.
And then he's gone off the radar. I don't know where he is now, but I love that guy. I want to give him a big hug.
And also swear at him.
Hiroshi, if you're out there, mate, if you're watching this, I love you, and you're also a massive twat. And let's be friends again, maybe.
I'm not sure he will after that. Next beer, Bradders.
Yes.
So we're moving on to this. Brad's going to show you up close. But this is the Zenapils from Delacen, one of the great modern Belgian brewers. We've done lots of videos with them over the years. Sadly, not actually at the brewery, but just meeting the founder in and around the beer scene. I think we did one at Beavertown's extravaganza many years ago, in which we talked about Saison. I believe. This is their first lager. why the reason we put this in our tasting box is because it is decocted.
It's decocted and it's sensational.
Yeah, it's not mass murder, but it's strong. So decoction is at this point now mostly a Czech phenomenon. It's a way of doing your mash in which you basically take some of the mash out of the temperatures, which would be between 60 and 70, and you'd take it to another pot, boil it, basically, caramelize those sugars, and put it back in. And decoction was used to like start raising the temperature, so you'd have this step mashing thing. But now it's kind of used to just add that caramel. No, you still have to do that kind of step mashing. But now we've got modified malts, so we don't need to step mash, but you still do it to get that wonderful, wonderful caramelized.
You achieve this thing called the Maillard reaction.
You do.
Which is basically like you burning sugars. So you get this with
caramelizing
sugars.
Yeah.
So you get this with meat. If you eat an amazing bit of steak and you sear the outside of it, you get a sort of a caramelization of the sugars in it. It breaks down, and it gives you that nice pun or sensational. Yeah. So Maillard reaction, decoction. You can do double decoction, triple decoction.
You can do it 3 times. Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah.
Thrice in a night, Johnny.
In a day.
Thrice in a day.
If you brew twice, then 6. So this lager has been decocted, but it's also unfiltered, unpasteurized, and clearly not lager to the point where it's drop clear. So I'm excited to try this. I've never tried this beer. This is
a hazy boy, isn't it?
So yeah, Prost.
Prost.
Let's see what we get on this bad boy. It smells hop profile wise a lot like all of the other Delicen beers. So herbal, lemony, Tettnangary, I think it's quite savoury. It's nice and it's soft and it's lemony and herbal. No decoction character on that, as far as I can tell.
No, it's not very comely.
But it is heavily hopped as well, which will probably encourage that haze. Let's give it a go. Yeah, that's a Delicen beer. Crazy dry. A little bit of like hoppy tannin. Really drinkable.
It's a weird one, isn't it? For like this for an Oktoberfest. I like that we've sort of like stretched the boundaries a bit. If you serve that in Oktoberfest, they
I mean, I'm not trying to say these beers are Oktoberfest. I thought it was just an excuse to see how wide the lager variety is.
You get stoned for serving that, wouldn't you? they bury you in a hole, and then
Germany would be like, "Is that a Weiss beer?" No,
stone your face.
I'm getting my Glock.
A pummel, I reckon.
But I mean, that's a beautiful beer. Really lemony, really dry. There is decoction. There is a caramel note in there.
Yeah,
for sure. I think it's a really tasty beer. I think it's a really lovely little pils. I just think go into it expecting much hop.
Yeah.
Many hop.
Yeah, many hops.
Feel hops.
Shall I get some brats or some bocks?
Yeah, you could. Somebody said they were going to kill themselves if we said brat too much, and you keep saying it.
Oh, hang on.
Okay. Hey, Cohen. Great news for you. So hopefully within the next couple of days, the Patreon patches will be arriving for all international
They'll be winging their way
except for Australia. That's going to take a little while, but that is happening. Brad's going to go cook me up a sausage, I think. Oh, yes. What's he doing?
Oh, no, I'm just getting out. Fucking drunk.
Brad just fell over his own furniture.
Okay. I was just getting these out, Johnny. I'm just going to show the lovely folks at home some of the sort of patches and stuff that you get.
Let's go like the price. No, wait, which one is it? The Price is Right, where you do the conveyor belt. It's like you could win for $3 a month. You would get. Well, that's for 2019, so you can't actually get that patch anymore.
Well, you could if you sent me a special cheeky boy message.
There you go.
We might send you one, and if you're not somewhere exorbitantly expensive to send it to, we've got some left.
There you go. So that's the 2020 patch. So we send these out to all of our $3 merchant. Don't get that one out. Oh,
No.
okay,
Get this one
cool.
out. I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. Come on, this is gonna be a T-shirt. Does anyone like this? Will anyone wear this, or is it too out there? Because I'd wear this.
I wouldn't put sex and drugs like so big on a T-shirt, but I'm me.
Well, it's sex and drugs and rock and roll, buddy. You know, it's like the Blockheads and numerous other people. Cultural, punks.
Appropriation.
But what does everyone reckon about that? This we've winged this out to a sort of golden card membership of people. They get this. But anyway,
yeah. Ben asked where people are going to be stitching those. We'd love to hear as well.
I was gonna put a David Hasselhoff style jacket on tonight, but I ran out of time because I was gonna
you found something better.
Well, obviously I found something better.
Yeah.
But I was gonna put the patches all over the front of it and just sort of like double-sided sticky tape them.
Just test it out.
Because I haven't got any pins. Well, I haven't got any safety pins. I couldn't find any safety pins. And I haven't got time to
they're iron-on patches.
It's a leather jacket, Johnny. Can't iron onto a
leather.
Oh,
yeah, that wouldn't work.
Plus, I don't own an iron.
What?
I don't know an iron. Why am I struggling with saying iron?
When you came to my wedding, you hadn't ironed your shirt?
No, it was sort of air-dried. When I walked into your wedding, not to get too personal, I barely had a tie on, and then your friend, I can't remember his name, directed me to the front row, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I better put a tie on, and I was like, just struggling to get this tie on.
Put the tie on.
Yeah.
You also you came up on the to the front and hugged me, which was beautiful and lovely.
Pretty uncovid friendly though.
But so my thought was like, this is lovely. Always want to hug Brad. But then the next announcement was my friend who was who was running the ceremony going, please do not approach the bride and groom due to COVID-19. So as I was hugging, I was like, well, this looks bad. But there you go.
It's all right. It's not all right. We're in a bubble, Johnny.
We are in a bubble. We spend a lot of time together. It's like we were together in a pub.
That's it. We're in a creative bubble.
We spend too much time together to worry too much about that. The thirds is wrong. You need something else there.
What? The thirds is wrong. What does that mean?
I think he's saying that people don't drink in thirds. We're trying to enhance the geekiness.
Mate, yeah, you get thirds of like really strong beers, and it sounds good, no? Doesn't it? I mean, you can screen grab this, but if you print it, I will come kill you. You can screen grab that shit. I think that's cool as fuck. No, am I wrong? Who said that? Chris Brown.
Bradley's been defending.
Aren't you a rapper, Chris Brown? Hang on, isn't that a rapper that beats his wife?
Yeah. Okay, Bradley. Let's
I'm gonna go in here, Johnny. Come on, man.
Let's not go that way. Ben Dawson completely forgot to reply to your email asking for address and patches. No, we can post those. Don't worry about that. We'll get that done.
Great beard, Ben. That's a fucking awesome beard. You look like you live in the wilderness. That's very much snow in the background.
I reckon he's skiing there.
Oh, I wish I could zoom in on your reflective sunglasses, because I reckon there's all sorts of interesting stuff going on in the background.
Yeah. Me bad, sorry.
Chris, I was only jesting, mate.
Brad, I think Brad, he's tripped over some furniture, and he's also said he's going to kill one of our viewers. So I think it's about time that Brad sorted the sausages.
Get some brats on the go. Brad will get the brats.
Just watch out for the cable and the light and the sofa and the door.
And the Jeff.
And a Jeff? Is there a Jeff?
No.
No Jeff yet. I'm going to lose this because, if I'm honest, like Brad's head, right, is so big. That's the size of Brad's head. I don't know what size that is, but it's massive. Anywho, there we go. Right, let's look at some comments while Brad's just sorting that. You want that T-shirt? Do you want the sex and drugs and drinking thirds, or do you want the what's been described as a bra / suspenders / braces, also really thin? Because you can have this one. If anybody wants this, we'll auction it for charity. It's yours in a moment. So let's go through this. Sean Brewer says he'd put it on the sleeve. That might seem a bit passive aggressive. Like you meet somebody, they're like, "Hey, this person's nice," and then they reach out to shake your hand, and then there's just, yeah, I don't know how that one will go down. I don't know. Yeah, so right, t-shirts. Like Brad is the design guru on this channel, and I keep telling him, so just below all of our videos, maybe not on the live shows, I'm not quite sure, you can have merchandise. And we keep telling Brad to just put his design. He's got some amazing designs, and he's not putting them up there. He's what's the word? He's pontificating, and he's not putting them up. So start sending him abuse. He was on Twitter today replying to some of my tweets, which is unusual. So you now know who to follow and who to send abusive tweets about getting those t-shirts online. That's an interesting point. Stickers. So we're trying to sort out a web shop so that you guys can get stickers, t-shirts, glasses. The problem is we'd have to run it ourselves really to make it actually work financially. So we might have a plan there now. So we will start to get a web shop going, hopefully. Have we tried the Oktoberfest beers on Perfect Draft? Perfect Draft is... Who is it that owns Perfect Draft? Is it Phillips? Because there's one that's owned by Heineken, which we won't touch. Heineken are horrible people. If it's the Phillips one, we haven't yet, but maybe we will. But we also have a project in the works that would blow that stuff out of the water, which we can't announce yet, but hopefully we will be able to. And that's very, very exciting stuff that will kind of change the way that the Craft Beer channel is run and funded. So I won't say too much, but not yet. We haven't tried it, but I know that they do put some really good beer on there. I think Jaipur's on there. We did a video a couple of weeks ago about that. And Perfect Draft is a good system. I just need to check the ownership of that one. Sam wants some German food now. An hour round trip. No, don't do that, because we're still going for another hour. So please don't leave. Where are we? I don't ski, but I'm surrounded by skiers. Not in Poole, where I live, though. Poole, where are you from, Ben? Because Poole in the UK is a beach resort. I say resort, that's a strong word. That's being very kind to Poole. So yeah, let us know about where you were. Stephen says he loves the channel. We love you, Stephen. We're trying to keep up the good work. We are getting so much closer to be able to make this profitable, to be able to focus on this significantly more. Here comes the Brad brats, the Brad and the brats. So yeah, we've got some big plans to do significantly more work. We already post twice a week, and we can just make that stuff better for you guys. And we need you guys as well. Like the comments tonight have been amazing. The comments on all of our videos. We were talking about this on our podcast last Friday about how interaction has massively gone up as we've been growing over lockdown. Yeah. And we've had our fair share of bastards come in, and I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed. So it's good to have a proper conversation and disagree with some people every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not about disagreeing with people. I like to be everyone's friend, but I can see the sort of fun factor in having some opposition to people.
But it's not. You can still be a friend and disagree.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, I mean, it would be a boring place if we all thought everything was great.
If everybody
had the same opinion. Yeah.
Get tired of looking. I'm bruised. I'm bruised. Gemütlich. Eins, zwei, drei. Super. Oh boy.
And on that note, Johnny, I'm gonna flash up a close up of some
flash a brat. Let me remove that comment so that we can. You need to go a bit higher. There it is.
Look at those bad boys.
There's the focus.
Do you want a brat or do you want a brat or a bock?
I'm gonna go brat.
Knock yourself out. I'll go bock then, because it's more like a sort of traditional
bock to the future.
Bock to the future.
That is already many beers.
Bock in time.
Oh crikey! Bock in time, which is still Huey Lewis. There you go.
There you go.
Um,
I really wish, like Ben from Filmbusters, I'd invested in some of that amazing German mustard. What I do have is some curry sauce. It's not currywurst, but it's curry sauce.
See, I mean, currywurst if you go to Berlin and you ask for a currywurst, all it is ketchup with curry powder just scattered over the top.
And I find it very grainy. I don't know about you, Johnny.
I mean, I do, but I enjoy the graininess.
Graininess. I mean, it's sort of overrated. It's a bit overrated. I mean, my favorite place to get a burger or a brat in Berlin is Burgermeister, which is under some elevated train. I don't know where it is even.
Oh, what?
Burgermeister's cool, man. I enjoy that place.
It's good. It's good.
Man, good snap to it.
I wish pigs weren't such intelligent, lovely creatures.
That's it.
So somebody is not enjoying your bread purchase, Brad. Have you got rum in your mouth to defend this?
What? Okay. Well, look. Just to defend myself, I had these as well. Whoops.
What?
Hang on. That's difficult. These guys, which are probably more traditional, but I thought we couldn't source our dogs up enough, Johnny. So I went for the stick.
I appreciate all you did.
I tried. I just tried, Johnny.
It's supposed to poke out the end, isn't it?
It is supposed to poke out the end.
Sausage.
It is supposed to poke out the end, but I thought that was a bit gratuitous, especially with the sort of chat we've had this evening.
The verse is the best. Stan Congdon, thank you so much for your donation. Good homebrew podcast with Andy. I'm drinking my recent homebrew now. Accidentally pitched 57 instead of Quake. How did you manage that?
Wow.
So you just got the homebrew fridge just full of yeast and you just went, oh, that one. Pineapple, yeah, you can really get that with Quake. Tell me about how quick has that gone?
How quick has that gone?
Brad is on fire with the puns. I mean, you can't walk across the room without making a fool of himself, but asking for some wordplay. Yes. How quickly has that beer fermented? I'd love to know. That yeast is, if you don't know, it's a Norwegian farmhouse yeast. So it's a yeast that's come from traditional farmhouse brewing in Norway, and it is incredibly fast and will work at almost any temperature.
It's basically like the thing of yeast, isn't it? It will just survive any sort of
Terminator 2 vibes.
Yeah, it's like you're unkillable potentially, and just like it's going to monster anything.
And it can do it in about 3 days. Interestingly, the Verdant yeast that we did our New England IPA recipe with, that I think that reached final gravity in 6 days, which is pretty crazy.
It's pretty quick.
Considering it was a big beer, it got to just over 6. So yeah, speed is of the essence for breweries, because obviously if you've got high speed, you can turn over your tanks significantly quicker. So Quake is going to be pretty amazing. Here we go. He's on it. Under pressure, 3 days max. Philly Sour took 6. Did you get any acidity from the Quake? I assume not. But here we go. We're into the homebrew talk now. 22 degrees, 7 days. But yeah, three days is pretty familiar. And probably wouldn't have got any acidity from that. We will be brewing with all of these yeasts eventually, for sure, because that's kind of where we're going to move the channel towards. We're going to do lots more homebrew content. Keep it narrative based. Keep telling stories rather than just being like, here's the recipe. But obviously the recipe gets released as well. Because I mean, brewing, there's no better way of learning about beer than brewing it yourself and then comparing it to something that you try to get close to. So
we're gonna sort of try and open source home brewing as much as we can.
Yep.
And we're kind of learning along the way. Johnny knows a lot more than I do about home brewing. But our sort of plans are to sort of go from quite humble beginnings up to some pretty interesting stuff. And I think we've already brewed some quite amazing stuff. Certainly using the verdant yeast, we achieved something, and you certainly achieved something with the ale. Sorry, I'm suffering a little bit.
I'm having a little gurgle there.
Yeah, but
so the best curry ketchup, we'll come back to you, Brad.
Go
on. Is Zeissner. I haven't come across Zeissner. I'd love to see if it was. I recently discovered, so while we were down seeing Andy Parker at Elusive for the homebrew of the pumpkin beer, across the way from Andy and by Siren is an American food importer.
Oh.
That brings in lots of delicious stuff. So there must be a German one. I know that there's some sausage suppliers who do.
Some chlorinated chickens.
No, they're more like sweets and...
Oh, nice. I like
sweets. Stuff like, well, probably pumpkin puree and stuff like that, but they didn't actually do pumpkin puree, but that kind of stuff. So look out for the Zeissner. We were in Amsterdam, me and my now wife, and got an amazing curried ketchup. I forget the name of it. It came in a really tall red canister, and it was the best fucking curried flavor I've ever.
I'm gonna have to go
had.
get the curry. I've got some Heinz curry sauce. I'm gonna have to go get it now. I'm gonna bring back the rest of the bits, Johnny.
Yes, we do need the next beers. Somebody's gonna buy Brad and Iron. That's what we're gonna. We join our Patreon. That's what we'll put the money to. That's a lie, because I don't benefit from that, and nor does the channel. But Brad,
Cheeky bastards!
You need an iron, man.
I don't need an iron.
You need an iron.
I mean,
you're a fashionista without an iron.
I'm a trash bag.
He's a trash bag. No iron. Come on, man. What does your mother think?
Not a lot.
Apparently his mother doesn't think a lot. I feel like that's harsh on his mother. Right. So, invest in our Patreon. Get Brad and Iron. I mean, it's too late for my wedding, but maybe his. Although his wife will leave him if he goes blonde. His girlfriend will leave him.
My children need wine. And
that's a Pilsner Kel one.
It is, but no one knows that if I do this.
Oh, right. Sorry.
You just totally spoiled that. Oh. Put out there for something if it's deemed worthy. And I've got some curry. I'm sort of a bit. This is
Heinz. Come on, man.
Heinz curry sauce.
That's curry sauce. That's not curry ketchup.
No, but we've already got ketchup on the go. So surely. Oh, it's a curry colour. It's probably not going to work, is it?
I'm sorry, all of Germany, for going, hey, your culture's cool, but we'll just ruin it. Oh, wait, you are going to try and focus on that?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Craft Beer Channel, where everything's craft except for the food, the talk. Brad.
I want to do this to you, Johnny.
It's not COVID safe.
Try that.
No.
It tastes like currywurst.
No. Surely not.
A little zap of it.
A zenth of that. Trash bat, like it.
Oh, Trash Bat. Is there a Nathan Barley fan in the house? Trashbat.com. Oh, and he's got a bloody... Yes. Oh, Rich Harper.
He's all over it.
You're my spiritual hero.
Cheers, California.
We've all been pingued from one time.
Loved your homebrew video. Thank you so much. Appreciate your channel. Thank you if you did homebrew stuff. So much more is coming, Chris. Don't worry about it. Lots of cool stuff. Sam's off to the shop. The meat market. I hope it's still open.
Sam, where are you?
Where Stefano, my favorite German brewery.
Is it?
I love all of what they do, but I think the Weiher Stefan don't make as good a Weiss beers as
Gloria Estefan.
I don't think she homebrews. Don't know. Might do.
Maybe.
I'm a Schneider Weiss guy when it comes to Weiss beer.
Oh yeah, Rob Schneider, man. Yeah.
And lagers. I mean, there's a million of them.
Oh.
Vega has a question. Can you guys recommend any new beer venues in London that a Norwegian bastard should seek out soon as the COVID has settled a bit?
I mean, I would say, what's it called? Fuck, I've forgotten the name of it. No, Johnny, go to you, and then I'll come back to me.
Where are you thinking?
Area. Broadway Market. What's it called? Well, we went during lockdown. We
You mean Exmouth Market?
Exmouth Market, yeah.
Macella Brew Pub.
Macella Brew Pub, yeah.
So Macella Brew Pub would be a lot of fun. Lots of great beer there. Depends what you mean by new. So the Beer Mash and Sap opened 2 years ago. That place is amazing. I had my hand in it. Howling Hops just over the road is still amazing. In terms of other great places that have opened, there's so many new places cropping up and so many places closing, which is really tragic. So we wrote a book in 2016 all about that. Like where it was best to drink in that time. So many of them have now closed. It's a bit of we're in flux in London, if we're honest. There's lots of really sad closures happening at the moment.
Hey, Jeff.
Jeff's coming. She's covered in leaves.
She's like a Sticklebrecht cat. So she's just sort of covered in anything that's going. She might make an appearance. I don't want to get anyone too excited.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Yeah, she just wants to talk a bit.
Just wants to come have a little chat.
She sleeps on the sofa over there, so she's upset that all of the camera equipment is on it.
Right. So we've covered that up, and that's where she goes. So in terms of new places that you could go, it's a little bit tricky. A great new place is Exale Brewing, which is EXALE. Yeah. There's this little pocket of breweries cropping up in North London. So there's Exale, there's Wildcard. There's another brewery coming that I can't say yet. It's under NDA, but a really good brewery is moving up to that same
area. Is there someone you're working with?
Somebody that I'm working with on that. I do a consultancy to help small brewers fund themselves, promote themselves, all that kind of stuff. So there'll be another cool brewery coming up there. So I would say up in sort of really North Tottenham, there's a real scene cropping up, and Exhale are the newest guys to there. And that's an amazing place to go drink, and they make fantastic, more traditional beer. Like, you won't get New England IPAs, you won't get pastry stouts, nothing like that. But you will get really lovely lagers, really lovely West Coast IPAs, really nice sessionable hoppy beer.
Tizer-themed beers.
Tizer-themed beers. They make one of their core beers it's not Tizer, it's...
Iron Brew, sorry.
Iron Brew. Got an Iron Brew sour, which is apparently just the flavorings that they add to Iron Brew. That company that provides that flavoring to is it bars, I think, make Iron Brew? The same company will sell that flavoring to anybody else. There's no exclusivity.
Wow.
So if you want to
That's ruthless.
Yeah, but, I guess Iron Brew back in the day didn't think about it, and now you can just get those flavorings. So lots of stuff. We'd love to hear your recommendations as well. So I mentioned Tottenham. If there's somebody in South London, please bring that up as well. Yeah. London, to be honest, London is not the hub of brewing innovation right now. Really, a lot of the excitement is happening in Manchester, Leeds, Liverpool, Newcastle. That's where the new exciting stuff is happening at the moment. London's in a bit of a funk. And it's struggling brewing wise. If you look at the the pubs that are closing because of COVID and stuff like that, it's all very concentrated down in London because they're reliant on tourists and office workers, and all of them are gone.
Yeah.
So actually, the places that are more reliant on local trade are doing much better. So if I were you, I would come to London. There's some amazing places still, but I'd build in Bristol and Manchester if you could. And they're beautiful cities anyway.
Oh, amazing!
Newcastle's too far.
Like, if you're coming all the way to the UK, you've got to travel about a little bit because it's not all about London. Without a
doubt. Right. Thank you, Dermot
McMachado.
McMachado.
Dermot McMachada.
Thank you so much for your kind
That's
donation.
Very kind, sir.
If you have a question, we'll come back for it. If not,
whereabouts in Ireland are you, Dermot?
Is that how you spell Dermot?
Yeah, it's Dermot.
It's like
that's the Irish, the proper.
Irish way of
yeah.
There you go. Right, let's go back into the comments for a bit. We've missed this. The new Michaela London, yes, 100% that. Are you going to brew some more bag in the box for your hand pub? 100%, Zach. Got plans for that. Don't you worry. I didn't spend £109 on that hand pull for nothing. That's still happening. This guy wants to buy one of these t-shirts for 50 quid, 100% for charity. You name the charity as well. Just give 50 quid to a charity. Show us the proof and we'll send you the t-shirt. Don't worry.
What, this t-shirt?
These
ones? On?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's very generous. What charity could we donate to? It's World Mental Health Day.
It is World Mental Health Day.
So, I mean, I'm a man that has nearly killed myself. Not to put too sort of fine point on it. I was going to kill myself. And I didn't because I do stuff like this. And, other things. I got people that care about me. But I was at a stage a couple of years ago when I genuinely thought about, ending it. So I think it's important to talk about stuff like that because I didn't used to talk about anything. And then I had a few bad things happen to me. I lost my dad, I lost my partner at the time, and a few things like that that sort of came on top of me a bit. And I just thought, what's the point? But if you can sort of manage to get through it, and if you've got people around you you can talk to, then the world's a great place despite everything that's going on right now. I think it's more important than ever to reach out. So if anyone wants to hit me up on Mr. Brad Evans on Instagram, I'm always up for a chat. You're not alone, you're loved. So reach out. That's it. That's all I've got to say, Johnny.
Reach out and give some money to some mental health charities.
Mental health charities.
On today or any day.
Any day.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was around when that was happening, and it was rough to see. And Brad did reach out a couple of times, and we had good chats and worked out what was happening. And it's super important. Like reaching out is the best thing you can do, And if you know somebody who's feeling it, reach out to them, just a message.
And you won't even know necessarily. It's I think as men we're kind of embarrassed about feelings and
feel like there's bigger worries in the world.
Well, there's bigger worries in the world. We're not important. Yeah. That's kind of the thing where I was always like, I don't really matter, but then you sort of realize that everybody matters. Everybody matters. That's all I need to say on that matter. But I'm always here if anyone wants to reach out.
And that goes for our email, which is craftbeerboys@gmail.com, where you can send questions or just reach out.
100%.
Brad's account, my account, Johnny Garrett, or Craft Beer Channel. Just you don't need to talk about your issues. Just have a chat.
That's it. And I think for me, I've got a sort of quite a healthy relationship with drinking, but obviously, drink can be a sort of bastard to people that have mental health issues.
It's both an escape and it's
a
rabbit hole that you can fall down.
So we've all got to be like really careful about drinking and stuff as well, which we sort of preach. Kind of being sensible around drinking, although we do act like it. Well, mostly I act like an idiot. It's just because I sort of enjoy the frivolity of drinking and just sort of having, I nearly said japes then, Johnny. It's because I went to a pizza restaurant called Japes. I would never say japes.
Dramatic pause there. Definitely not a burp.
If anyone's in London, go and check out this deep pan pizza place called Japes. It's in Soho. It's fucking well good. Seriously good. I went there on my birthday. It was my birthday last week.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Right. So, Sean the Brewer says CBC fan meetup. CBC fan. That's a weird phrase.
Yeah.
That's very strange to us. I love it, but it's a very strange phrase. We love it when you guys get chatting and maybe meet up. We've seen some little friendship groups crop up because of that, and that warms our heart. Like nothing other than being paid right would make us more happy.
We're
making friends.
We're in a protozoic phase of introducing a new platform where we can all mingle on, which are probably this is a good opportunity to talk about it. What do you think? Is it too early? Is it too early? I don't know.
Well, we're not. No, fuck it. Yeah, we're not promoting it yet, but it's happening. It's definitely happening.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, me and Johnny, we love this that we do, and we love the fact that a lot of people seem to care about it. You know, for me certainly, it makes me feel a bit better about life, and I'm like, wow, I feel interconnected with a lot of people out there, which is great. And obviously, I've got a great friendship with Johnny, and we have this sort of shared interest, which has taken us around the world, which is amazing. And like, not a lot of people are lucky enough to say that, and we kind of want to share that. And the way that we can share that right now, the way that we can sort of promote that and keep doing that is through Patreon. But you know, we sort of always feel like, oh, we're offering enough on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's always like a kind of quandary where we don't make a lot of money out of this because we're quite niche still. You know, we're hopefully we're going to reach 100,000 this year on YouTube.
Yep.
But you know, we're not at 100,000 yet. You know, if we were doing sort of crazy,
if we were doing videos about how to make money on YouTube, we'd be much bigger than we are.
Yeah, but we're doing something we care about, we love.
Yeah.
You know, it's a culture that we've invested in, and that we're part of, and that we want to champion. But it's a subculture. It's like a niche thing. But we want to create an environment where we can talk about it. And we don't really think that Facebook is quite right. Instagram's not quite right. We don't want to
throw more support to Facebook than we have to, basically.
No, Instagram's not right either. Twitter is great, but sometimes it's full of hate and stuff or whatever. But, you know, and then you've got closed groups on Facebook, which can be really good, but you know, there's also a lot of kind of negativity within them. We want to kind of champion a sort of a safe space where we can all converse and chat, and maybe like do stuff like this, like live streams and things.
Yeah.
So we're basically going to launch a new platform, which is for our Patreons.
Yeah.
Which have we decided the platform it's going to be on yet?
We've not 100. We've probably got a platform for it, but basically it's going to be an online forum that's exclusive to our Patreons. That will just be a chat room. So, literally, what it will do is allow you to post videos, photos, comments, start conversations, interact with me and Brad on a daily basis, and just have conversations. And it will just be a little social group of anybody who wants to be part of our group and just talk about
beer, the culture around beer,
food, beer, food, homebrew, your life, whatever it is, and just create this little space of people who, because we think we've created this little space of people who are like-minded, right? And we think that there is probably a way that we can help fund the channel, but equally, you know, maintain that space and all benefit from it. So you're not just sort of enjoying what we do, you're enjoying what everybody else that watches the channel does. Yeah. So that old school like 90s forum vibe is what we want to try and create. Like whatever Mumsnet was, Friends Reunited was, like way back at the start.
It's a community in its truest sense. And we kind of want to make it so we're not at the reins of it totally. We want it to be a real community. I'm a bit of a hippie.
He's a lot of a hippie.
And like I'm all about spreading positivity and love and peace around the world. Like I wish I could turn around the camera and show you my room, because I've got neon signs of like a CND logo, which is the peace sign, and you know, all this kind of other stuff. So I sort of like want to put out positivity into the world. And we want to create this platform. Are we waffling now, Johnny? I don't know.
Oh, definitely. We are waffle central right now.
We're like a waffle. We're in a waffle house right now. But like, but you know, basically, we want to open up the reins a little bit to some of you guys who are our biggest commenters and stuff, and get you to be crucial to the format and the forum, the thing that we want to do. We want to make you part of it, and be as open and inclusive as we can. So this is like a kind of no holds barred place where we can all converse, and hopefully we were looking at different platforms where we can potentially do live streaming and sort of
so
get people to come in on video chats with us, audio chats.
It's going to have all of the technical capability of Facebook without having to give to a company that has distorted political independence completely. So we will be announcing that in a couple of weeks. There will, of course, be a very, very small membership fee. All your patrons will be straight in it immediately, but just so that we can be part of a community that really cares, and so that we can start not only giving back to you guys and giving you space, but also so that you guys can start creating your own stuff and just creating this little community, which I think is really important to us. So as we move more towards homebrew with the content, we're still going to be telling those amazing stories, doing sofa sessions, but start to be a little bit more kind of reflexive. If you guys, there's going to be a little section which is literally like, what ideas do you have for the channel? And you guys can come in and go, I've never brewed an imperial stout. Where would you start with that? And we can do a video based on that, whatever it is.
Yeah.
To just try and make it a little bit more reflexive and a little bit more, two-way?
Well, for me, it's all about connecting the dots. So we do these disparate things, and we've got like podcasts, and we've got a YouTube channel. Johnny writes lots of stuff that's great all around the internet and elsewhere. And it's about bringing those things together and the home brewing, and creating a sort of place where we can learn from you guys. You can learn from us. We can all sort of cross-pollinate and make the world better. Yeah, make the world around beer better.
Our little corner of beer
that's
better, and
the bubble. Our bubble.
Anyway, that's the pitch over. So that we're going to be announcing that soon. You don't have to join Patreon right now. We're going to announce everything so that you know exactly what's happening to all you guys who aren't patrons. But patrons who are with us already, that's happening. You'll get the announcements first, and you'll know all about it before we launch it. We're going to do a beta test to make sure it's right. Anyway, let's get back to the show.
Yeah.
Dermot has said reading is getting trickier. Do you want to pour the next beer? We're on to the Don. Well, no, we're on to the Don Zoco. The can. That's yours.
I need to
the technophobe's name is pronounced Jamid McMurrahu. Jamid McMurrahu.
Is it?
Question, Brad. How did you go from art to beer? P.S. Is Misa as Ardai Bega Dun Nga?
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
No idea.
I'm pouring myself beer, Johnny, because I'm rude.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but where's your can? Have you got your can?
This is all right. I found the can.
How do I go from art to beer? I think everything is art, to be honest. So I think everything, culture, life, beauty, nature, everything is design, and it's like a beauty to it. And everything I think is poetic. And everything has a sort of spirit, not a spirit because I'm not a religious person, but everything has a sort of essence to it, and you can find links to anything that you're into.
Moved away from art briefly.
Gone sort of a bit esoteric there, but how did I move from art to beer? How did I move from art to beer? I lost my job in art, and then I sort of went more into beer, essentially. But fundamentally, I think we're all sort of interconnected, and anything that is great has artistic merit. So whether that's the craft that goes into this beautiful Don Zoco beer, or the craft that goes into the beautiful label design, which is also awesome. This is all art, this is all craft, and that is where my interest comes from, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, art can be any kind of sense, right? So it could be flavor, it could be smell, it could be look, it could be sound. And I think that both of us. So my absolute passion is writing, and that is an art in itself. And so Brad and I used to connect over that and over beer, and we connect over me writing about it, Brad loving the labels and loving the flavors. and me obviously loving the flavors. And I think, you know, anything that's done with
passion. It's passion, isn't it?
I think it's passion, but it's also
and a joy. Finding a joy in life and expression.
Yeah, exactly. Expression is the word, or like just an element of abstractness that isn't just the everyday. It isn't just this is what I tried to create and it happened. It's this is what I tried to create and did I get there? Asking that question is a bit interesting, which is why I love bad beer as much as good beer.
Mm-hmm.
Like not to drink every day, but just to ask that question. You know, we made an Oktoberfest beer. How close did we get? Like this beer here that we're drinking now. So this is billed as, if you could show it, Brad.
Yeah.
This is billed as a rustic lager. Sorry, I just need to remove that. It's billed as a rustic lager, right? Up a bit, Brad. Up a bit. Up a bit. Up a bit. There we go. Rustic lager, right there.
Oh, it's so difficult. Hang on.
So rustic lager, that's not a thing, right?
It wasn't a thing, but it is a thing now.
He's trying to make it a thing. He's going, do you get rustic from this?
I think
when you ask a question, that becomes art in my book.
Yeah. Do you get rustic from this? Don't know, but I like the idea that you can just create stuff. So it's like mountain IPA.
Yep.
You know, like we can just sort of go, well, we're in a genre, but we're a subgenre of it. So we're not on the coast, so we're going to be like mountain IPA.
Yeah.
You know, but then like people will attribute certain sort of flavor profiles and whatnot to a kind of a concept, which is how it would become a style, I guess. So, you know, that you can look back through history and go, you know, what's a Jack Russell? Jack Russell was a wolf at one point, and then someone bred it to be a nippy little shit. It would chase rats in the London sewer or something in the Victorian era. And then you've got a Jack Russell.
Yeah.
So, you know, anything's possible.
Yeah, and I think that I've said in many videos, I have real issues with the BJCP, which is basically the rules used for judging. And part of that is because it puts everything in boxes, which I don't think is that helpful. Secondly, it's because it's highly Americanized. Like the truths of the histories are like, it's not true. That's just how America saw it. But thirdly, it's because what it does is it says, this is how the style was made. This is what the history is. And this is how it goes. Right.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, if they turned out and went, you know, a bit like New England IPA, they go like, this is how the style was made. Or like Rustic Lager, this is how this style was made. You go, well, yeah, but that's not the intention when it was made. And there's an element of, you know, sometimes trying to find the absolute truth of something isn't the most important thing. It's how you interpret it. So, you know, we talk a lot about styles on this channel. We talk a lot about processes on this channel and ingredients. But actually, at the end of the day, if Reese from Donzoka wants to call that a rustic lager, so long as the drinker goes, yeah, that's not just a lager. There's something rustic, which would come from the spelt he's used or from the, you know, the particular hops he's chosen that aren't anything to do with the traditional lager styles. You can start to go, hey, well, that's different. And it doesn't need a label put on it. I think that's art. He's asked a question, and if you agree or disagree, it's a bit more artistic than BJCP going, this is a lager, everything else isn't.
Yeah.
And it's why I struggle with beer judging and stuff, even though I do a lot of it. I just think it needs to be a bit more open-ended. So I think beer and art aren't that alien. And when people say, is brewing science and art, you go,
right.
The production of it is science, but the concept of it is art every second of the day.
Yeah. I mean,
Brad's going to finish off that thought. I'm going to pee.
Oh.
I apologize to everyone. And then we will be back with some more questions.
Yeah, it's quite all right. Oh, there's Jeff. Jen.
Jeff's come to the loo with me.
Love Brad. Thanks, Jen. You're a big supporter of Brad right now. I'm very into that. Thanks for sharing, Brad. Mental health is really unaddressed over here in Germany. Man, that makes me upset to know that. I mean, I think it was quite unaddressed over here in the UK until a couple of years ago. I'm not really sure what the pivot point was, but suddenly it seemed to become acceptable to talk about mental health and you know how you're sort of feeling and how you feel about being on this plane of existence and stuff, which for a lot of men, I think, certainly myself included, like a few years ago was not acceptable. But you know, I've been to one of the most liberal art schools in the world, and still I felt kind of shame. So I think hopefully we're sort of evolving into some sort of new state where we can openly discuss this without shame. But I guess I am still a little bit ashamed of my feelings, because I know I'm loved and everything, but you know, it's a weird one. But Scrubs, I never drink when I'm sad. I always make sure I enjoy the beer rather than drinking things away. That's the best way to be, isn't it, Johnny? You know, I certainly I suffer with depression, but I don't actually drink that much. I really enjoy drinking, but it's not like when I'm not making stuff with Johnny, I'm not at home drinking on my own. No, not to say that there's anything wrong with drinking on your own, but for me, I'm not doing that because I know I sort of can suffer with stuff. So I think that's a really sensible choice.
Yeah, any alcohol is not a coping mechanism.
No. It's
a downer, so you drink when you're up. Did you go through this? Joe's asked, are we serious? Dead serious.
No. Joe Ganzel, 100%, man. Yeah. Like, add me up. Add us up. We're here for a chat. I feel that's kind of part of why I'm here a little bit, is to just sort of, I'm no expert in anything, but I'd like to think that I've been through some tough times, and I won't say I'll offer any sage advice, but I'm certainly here to be an open ear to whatever you might be going through. So yeah, deadly serious.
Right, let's go to. We're way behind in what we have planned, and indeed our comments, but we're dead serious. Please contact us if you ever want to chat. Joe, get in touch. Seriously, right now, if you need to, drop Brad a message. If his phone pings, he'll pick it up and he'll check right now. On the other side of the coin, Scoville challenges. I have really bad IBS. Let's be honest there, so that's never going to happen. But clickbait thumbnails of me and Brad in short shorts, that could happen. CBC OnlyFans? No.
That's like the sort of like sexy girl, sexy sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be just sexiness.
Sexiness.
It's the whole cute I might delete thing.
Maybe we're sexy guys. Maybe
we did. I remember when we first started, there was some YouTube account that was like cute guys only or something.
Yeah. I remember this.
And they hovered around us.
They hovered around us because they were like, they're kind of cute. But then they saw us bloat out with drinking the alcohol.
Yeah. Back when we were young.
More ruddy of cheek. You look amazing when you were young, when we first started this, by the way. Not saying you don't now. That's like a backhanded compliment.
Like it's saying that.
Well, I watched one the other day. I was like, fucking hell, Johnny's so young. I'm a fair bit older than Johnny, just to put that into context. So I think I've always looked a little bit shit, but Johnny looked great.
That's not true. A little bit younger. I met you. How old? We met in 2012.
Yeah.
So you just turned 30.
Yeah. I just reached my sexual peak.
So I just turned 22. No, 24.
Yeah.
Let's get that right. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Thank you, Victoria. Really appreciate your lovely comments. Damud, I've forgotten how it's pronounced now because Dermot. Pint Size is amazing. You should check out his video all about the strongest beer in the world. He's taken the bad green screen from Zoom that everyone's using and made it art.
Oh wow! I need to check that out. I've not watched that. I love Pint Size. I've not seen it.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Ben. I don't want to dismiss these, but there's lots of them, and thank you so much for all the kind comments, because literally, we're trying to make this our job, and we're getting there, but we're not there.
That's nice. Thanks, Ben.
It's good to know that you're up for the new platform we're about to launch. Brad's a hippie, no way. Didn't see that coming, did you?
On that note, I'm going for a piss.
Alan, I hope you get your Patreon patch soon. That'll be on the way to you. Happy birthday to the Brad. He's got his penis out now. He's peeing, but I'll tell him when he's back. Yes, but I mean that's part of the reason why we're launching these things, because all of these forums, whether it's the famous Facebook one or whatever, they do start to, I guess, collapse in on themselves. And what we want is to make sure that the people who are involved in that platform are policing themselves, so that we aren't being dictatorial or anything. We want it to be totally open, all views welcome, so long as it's respecting the people that are in it. So hopefully we're going to build something that's incredibly open. And hopefully you'll see in the comments, like when we get criticized, we robustly reply, but I don't think we've ever fallen out with anybody ever in the comments. And that's a really important thing. You know, we've won round trolls, and sometimes fierce critics have won us round where we've gone, yeah, you're wrong. And that's where, you know, we've supported Black Lives Matter since it started. We've always been, Brad and I are staunch feminists and stuff, and we haven't been doing our jobs right because we haven't been sourcing those stories and putting them out there, and we are making a change there. So we hope it's going to be really open where we can have that kind of conversation with everyone. Speaking of learning, how do I get burnt liquid extract off a pot? You don't, Sam. That's a lesson we all have to learn in homebrew. You need a new pot. You need a new pot. Keep that one for like your imperial stouts, you know, where it's only going to add a little bit of roast and a little bit of umami. Don't worry about it. But yeah, you can't be making your pale ales once you've burned that on. We, with our homebrew of our pumpkin beer with Andy Parker from Elusive, we've almost scrubbed off all of the burnt shit at the bottom.
Oh man,
from the pumpkin.
That was a nightmare.
It wasn't ideal.
Oh, I need to make an apology because I said I didn't know a Pete earlier, and I do know a Pete. So
have you been pinged by Pete going, what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much. So Pete, I actually love Pete, and I've had some great chats with Pete. So now I feel dead awkward.
Ein Prost! Ein Prost! Gemütlichkeit!
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, super!
Yeah.
Did that dispel the awkwardness?
Forgive me, man. I love you, dude.
There we go. Top quality Irish there, lads. You're not welcome. We're awful. I apologise. Sam Congdon's on the box. Oh God, it's just skipped all these comments. Shit. Thank you, Ben. We hope that we can start to really utilise that and get you guys involved in that. Our own beer festival. Fuck yes, hopefully.
We were talking. Okay, so like beer festival is blue sky thinking, but also we were talking about doing a beer trip on a coach to Belgium. Or we could go to Czech, maybe, if we want to have a really long coach.
I mean, hey, if we turn into just like a beer-based tourism firm, hey, that's cool with me.
But we were seriously talking about this. It must have been 6 months ago on this live chat by now. Sorry, a live show. And we had a lot of people that were like really up for coach trips, craft beer coach trips, which I would love to do. I'm a real people person. I'm intimidated by groups, but on a one-to-one thing, I love having a chat with people. And I think there's not much of a better way to get to know someone than a long coach journey or a long train journey. Whether that be good or bad, Johnny, it's inescapable.
We've had some good and some bad journeys together.
We have.
Yeah.
We have. Mostly good, though. We've had some great journeys together, man.
Almost only good. Just, a week on the road, you start
Yeah.
Could do with a moment alone.
Yeah.
So we've had lots of amazing comments about this beauty, and it is a beautiful beer.
Rustic.
What's really good? So multiple grains in there, spelt, wheat, malt, which adds some malty complexity to it. The interesting thing about Don Zoco also is he has his own, where most brewers have their own yeast, house yeast. He has a house lactic culture. So these are lactobacillus. They're bacterial cultures that will add acidity to your beer, which will change the mouthfeel, the flavors, the aromas towards lemon and citric and lighter, zippy kind of notes. So we were talking about beer and art, and I think it's a rustic beer. It's a lager, but it feels farmhousey. There's lots of different aromas going on, and people are loving it in the comments. We've got Christ, it's lovely. We've got Love Donzoka Big Foam. Been very excited about trying this beer. Big boy foam. That boy foam was very impressive. It's a stunning beer. Like, it's a big beer, it's 5%, but it's endlessly crushable. Lots of lemoniness and grainy depth. I think it's his best beer. I think it's better than the Northern Helles. I think it's a stunner. It's his best beer.
It's cracking. He's an interesting chap. So I hope at some point we get to sort of explore a little bit more around him and his world.
Absolutely, yeah. We will do a video with him up in Hartlepool. They're on lockdown at the moment, Hartlepool, but once he's back, we'll be going up there once we're allowed to travel. Guys, you're all talking to each other. This is wonderful to see. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. I don't want to interrupt any of this. Is Keller Beer a rustic lager? Good question. Very similar. Yes, 100%. So a Keller Beer, if we're talking about like the Franconian style, so the darker, sweeter lagers of, say, Marzbräu, no. There's Keller Beer up there, and then there's Keller Beer like in Munich, which is where it's like the unfiltered brewer's choice of beer.
Yeah.
And that's pretty close to what this is. It wouldn't have the malt variations and stuff, but it would be unfiltered, yeasty, lemony, and that's what like Hackashore Keller Beer is. So there's definite links to like Munich Keller Beer, like the Brewers Select, I guess is what you call it in
out there.
Well, Brewers Select. Why is that a thing? Is it wine or something?
It reminds me of Readers' Wives for some reason.
What's Readers' Wives?
Don't know, like some sort of dirty filth mag.
Right. So that's
Brewers
what
Select. Readers' Wives. It sounds specialist.
Right. CBC trip to Bruges, that could happen. CBC Tour de Gueuze, that could happen. Craft beer in space with Elon Musk. I think I'd punch him in the mouth within 5 minutes of meeting
apparently, him. Well, I'm not going to say apparently, but he shot a Tesla up into space.
Yeah.
Supposedly, David Bowie is in that Tesla. So there's like a dummy in the front.
His body.
Yeah. Supposedly. Does anyone else know about this? This is dark.
We need to re-listen to Black Star and see if he hints at it.
I don't know. I don't think he would want to be sent up into space. No, actually, totally would be want to be sent up in space. But I don't know about being rocketed up in a Tesla.
I wouldn't pick a Tesla to go out there. That's for sure. Here is a great question from Chris Brown. You walk into a pub, every single style is served perfectly. What would be your choice?
Guinness. No, I'm joking. Guinness is, if I go to a really rough pub, I'm like, can I have a Guinness, please?
That's where nothing else is served.
Yeah, right? I went to Blue Post in Soho on my birthday, actually, because I didn't book anywhere, and now you have to book. Now we're in COVID times, so the only place I could go after eating my deep dish pizza was Blue Post, which is great. I love that boozer. I just went in there and I had Guinness for a couple of hours. But what would I drink? If anything, everything's perfect.
Everything's perfect.
I drink tank beer, Pilsner Urquell tank. I hadn't seen the light of day. What about you, Johnny?
It's either that or Racer 5.
Oh,
it was dirt fresh.
Old school. I love it.
Yeah.
That was great. That's gone, hasn't it? The little bit they had in the back.
The brew pub is gone. The original brew pub is gone. But I mean, the brewery's still going very strong.
Yeah. That was super special. Like being in Petaluma and all around that part of California a few years back now was like insane. Racer 5 was like one of my gateway beers for sure, man. Mm-hmm. That's a great shout.
I think I
That's a great shout.
still love I love that, and I love playing. Like, I love the old school West Coast IPAs. I love a little touch of crystal malt or Cara kind of vibes.
Yeah,
in that, and I'm sad that the UK moved on so fast. We jumped to boss level because New England IPA came out before we'd really nailed the New England style, and there's not a lot of breweries that have nailed it yet.
No.
So yeah, it would be West Coast IPA, or Pilsner Urquell, or Untitled the 5% version.
And these are all things that should be drank as fresh as you can get them.
Yeah, beer should be fresh, unless you're talking about the big Belgian stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Fresh beer does taste different, and you see, particularly right now, lots of the beers I'm drinking that's in pubs is not.
No.
And we should still obviously be supporting every fucking pub we can, but I've noticed a difference in what I'm being served, because just throughput's slower and all this, and it can't be helped, but I'm noticing it when I'm out. And I miss, God knows how all these tank fresh breweries doing tank fresh are coping, because
they can't be, right?
Yeah, because they must be really struggling. Cannonball still tastes great. I mean, the ownership of that brewery now is complicated. It wasn't to start with. We didn't know the associations, but it's tricky, but it's still a great pint. It really is. James Newman's asking about the pinter, which I saw on Facebook. I think somebody messaged me recently and I looked it up. It's basically extract brewing where everything's done for you. You're not going to get great beer that way. You're going to get passable beer, but if you've got any interest in good beer, you're going to drink it and go, it's very bland. It'll be like it'll be of a certain quality, but it'll be very bland. You won't get those high notes, that ultimate enjoyability that you could get from, even from a mini brew where, is full grain, full hops, and drunk fresh. It's not an extract kind of brew. So not a fan of the pinter, but I guess it has a place to some extent. You like this one? Oh yeah, Joe. I mean, we had all these plans for all these visits we were going to do. We've never been to SoCal.
Yeah.
And that was right up there, because SoCal, that was where the IPA really exploded. Even though it was invented in North California, really San Diego was the home of American IPA, and we've never been there. Well,
I've been down the West Coast on Amtrak years ago now, and it was fantastic, like amazing times. But we've not been on a beer adventure there. It's one of the absolute heartlands of amazing beer. So one day we'll get there, Johnny.
We will.
Hopefully,
it's going to happen for sure. It's not a matter of if, it's when.
Yeah.
Ben from Filmbusters has donated to us. Thanks so much, Ben.
Dude, thanks, Ben.
A film called Broken Nose, Empty Pockets. A huge highlight. You two would love it. A documentary about the last days of business for a Las Vegas bar. Fuck! That sounds fucking amazing. Broken Nose, Empty Pockets.
Is that a film called? Ooh.
So is that about like COVID, or is that like it went down previously? That sounds fascinating to me. Ben, you have your own podcast, right? Please plug it right here.
Yeah.
Especially if you talk about that film.
Filmbusters. Check it out.
I presume. Yeah. That sounds amazing. So I'm going to look that up. Brad is a huge documentary fan. I'm
a huge just film fan in general. I don't know that film, but that doesn't mean anything, because there's an incredible wealth of films out there which are not on any sort of platforms that normal folk might look at. So it's always great to hear something like that, which you're obviously very passionate about. You're at London Film Festival this year. That's awesome, Ben. I did watch your film, which is sort of like David Lynch-esque in Crystal Palace, and I enjoyed it greatly.
What, made by Ben?
Yeah, made by Ben. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah. It was an interesting one. I enjoyed it. Quite like non-narrative, kind of like a bit art, like proper art school.
Art House.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, Ben. Good stuff, man. Hopefully we'll get to meet up for reals one day, because you're only down the road from me, mate. And you bought from the Sausage Man, who's in Lewisham, which is where I live. So anyway, good stuff.
Well, thanks for the tip. And yeah, hopefully we will. I mean, we used to do live events quite a bit. We used to go to BrewCon, which is the homebrew festival. We used to run, like when we did our documentary last year, we did a live showing of that. So we will be doing live events again when we can safely. What a world. Anyway, let's not get into that. Thank you, Ben, so much for your donation and for your tip. I will be watching that this week. 100%.
Yeah, big time.
100%. Didn't the nano brew thing go under in the end? No. Mini brew is still going.
Mini brew, yeah.
They have money from big investors, so they're still going. Whether they should.
I feel like I mean, it's not a perfect product. We haven't given it a fair crack, maybe. But this sort of thing with like hands-off home brewing, where you can program it on your phone and it's all interactive and smart hub vibes, I think there's a real place for that. So I think whoever nails it is going to make an absolute mint. Yeah. And, it's going to empower a lot of people to feel like they are brewers. So in the same way that like amazing home coffee machines might make you think like, oh, a barista.
Is that what homebrew coffee machines do?
I don't fucking know. I don't own one. But I imagine, I don't drink that much coffee, but I imagine you could sort of like fool yourself into thinking I'm an artisan barista because I buy this small batch coffee and I grind it in my grinder and then I put it in the sort of bean to cup coffee machine and it brings me out this beautiful roast. I imagine that appeals to the same sort of high net worth individual.
We haven't met high.
We don't know any high net worth individuals, but I imagine if you're like, I'm going to drop a G on a coffee machine that will like just take some fucking beans and make some sexy coffee.
But the mini brew involves much more than that. You have to mix the mash. You have to pick the recipes.
Yeah.
I'm still torn on whether mini brew has a place in the beer world. I think it's great for a home brewer. If you've just got a grand to splash, you go, hey, this is how I test all my recipes.
The thing about it is it's replicatable.
You get all of the data. Yeah, so that's easily. Really interesting.
So you should be able to like go bam, bam, bam. It's got this in, it's got that in it. We're adding it in at this temperature, and everything is like categorized and put on a chart basically.
Yeah. I guess for me, the mini brew is it's like saying you can have the perfect steak every time, but the calculations don't actually work out at the time how thick your steak is, how aged the steak is, how much salt you've added. Yeah. So it's always going to take some personalization. Anyway, we've got a video with the mini brew coming up because we never actually finished that video. We did the video in which we showed how it was done, and it was amazing how it was done, but the beer was flawed because of a technical issue with the seal. Yeah. The seal wasn't perfectly aligned.
No,
because it was a beta model. So we will do it again, and we will explain what we really think of the mini brew.
I think
conceptually, I'm confused by it.
Anything that's like technology can save us, in this modern world, and it can potentially bring sort of like joyful things like home brewing to people that are not homebrewing experts into their lives when it wasn't possible like 5 years ago. So something like that could potentially be amazing. Whether it is or not is to be said, and we will go there.
There's more to go. Ryan says we can stay at your place. Where in SoCal are you? We'd love to come stay. We're always looking for cheap ways of doing these things.
That's for real. We're not joking.
Move the plate, Bradley. Jesus. Yes, more beer docs. We will be making more beer docs. We have a London one conceptually, which maybe is the best. We did have an amazing one planned for this year, which had to get cancelled because of everything. But maybe London's the next one we'll be doing. Here's a good question. I know what I like, but I couldn't explain it. How did you learn to describe beer? there's two facets to it. One is drinking all the beer. It's literally seeing how like this would vary from another pilsner, or how what we drank earlier would vary from another Helles. But it's also every time somebody says this tastes like lemon, or this tastes like quince, or this tastes like walking through a forest, or this tastes like grapefruit, or this tastes like brioche, like eat those flavors, like particularly with New England IPA, particularly with hops, people go, oh, it's grapefruit, and it's lemon, and then it's mango, and then it's overripe mango, and then it's kiwi fruit. And so like, when's the last time you had a kiwi? Because that doesn't smell anything fucking like a kiwi. So particularly because I do a lot of beer judging, I try to eat stuff that I actually don't like that much. Not that wild about kiwi fruit. And I try to eat them just every now and then, just to see and check that my biases aren't, because we all watch stuff that says it tastes like this, it smells like this, and you just need to check that bias. Stuff like lychee, lychee is quite a common flavor in beer. Lychee. But when was the last time you ate a lychee? Be honest with yourself. It's been years for me.
Yeah, since I was like a kid.
Yeah.
They're quite fun though, aren't they, lychee?
I mean, they are delicious from my memory, but I haven't had one since I'm trying to think. Last time I can remember was at a Thai restaurant, and I'd have been early 20s. I'm 33 now.
Oh,
so I need to go back and try the lychee. So it's all the stuff that you think you're getting, or that you see people say, I'm getting that. Go back and try it. Just go to your supermarket and buy that fruit and just go, ha, yeah. Or go, nah, no. And it's also confidence as well. I know this, and I'm gonna hang Brad out to dry here, but Brad has a great palate, but he doesn't have the confidence to say it, particularly when he's next to a gobby fuck like me. Yeah. So if Brad had the confidence and he just went, I'm getting that, and even if he's wrong, and you can change your mind after, just say it, because your instinct is probably right, and every now and then it's wildly wrong.
Yeah, my sort of gut is to like retract and sort of go, oh, Johnny's got a better palate than I do. But
I know. I'm just gobby here.
It's an interesting one. I think there's a lot of I'm definitely not a super taster, and I think that is an amazing. I wish I was like, you get these people that can just taste everything. And they hate a lot of stuff because they can taste everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, so there's it's a full-on job if you're tasting baby food, because babies have super sensitive
tea
palates. Or
whatever,
and tea, you get super tasters to the point where you insure your tongue.
Yeah,
those are the real tasters.
Yeah, man.
Tyrannosaurus 69 says, check out No Hype beer reviews on YouTube. Describes beer in a brilliant way.
Awesome.
I'm not sure I know that guy.
I haven't heard of him. I'll have to check it out as well. Thanks, Tyrannosaurus 69.
We'll give that a little look.
Maybe we could do a collab.
We were. Anybody with a great palate and a unique approach, we'd love to work with. Randy Mosher's book is fucking amazing. Also, our book, grab it. It's over there. I can see it. I'm sorry. I got.
There's some glasses on top of it. Hang on.
Rich guava's another one. Yeah, guava, lychee. These are all shit that we don't eat, but we say it. I don't think I've ever said guava, but I say lychee a lot, and that's just pure memory. So those are our two books. The one oh god, brain fart. This one, the one that Brad's waggling, is, we think, a really good way to introduce yourself to craft beer. It tells you all the processes, all of the biases that you might have, including also stuff like, what temperature to serve your beer at, what glassware to use, whether you should age it or shouldn't. Just like all of that in about 100 pages, with a little bit of me and Brad thrown in, and obviously a quote from James Watt.
That's all right, isn't it? It's not bad.
Go down.
Down?
Oh, no, it's the other book. Get the other book out.
Oh, well, yeah.
And then show the top quote from that one.
Okay.
Proof. We used to work for Jamie Oliver, so he enjoyed that book as well. And I'm sure when he picks a pub that he won't get mobbed in, he goes to the ones that we recommend.
These are beautiful books. I mean, it's hard to... Oh, God, that's a terrible...
No, but it was... like this, particularly this book.
Mm.
So it's published by Penguin, right? So a massive publisher, and they came to us with the idea. And I don't want to badmouth Penguin because I want to get another book with them one day. But they came to us with a really shit idea. And we were like, we can't just make a list of where to drink in London because it will change in a couple of days, a couple of weeks. Like pubs are opening and closing and breweries are getting better and worse. So we said, well, what if we make this a snapshot of the best breweries, the best pubs where we are now? And even when it gets out of date in 6 months' time, it will still be this wonderful little like almanac, like London beer in 2016. And they let us do that content-wise, but they still called it the London Craft Beer Guide, which is deeply unhelpful. I'm super proud of that book, and there's some great writing, great photography. It was a lovely concept. The guy did the illustrations, Alex Foster.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
A friend in Margate. Yeah, he's a lovely guy. Very, very talented artist. Does loads of books. Just check him out on Instagram, Alex Foster Illustration.
Yeah, he's a top lad. So both those books are still available. Beer School sells really well. London Beer Guide does not.
Yeah. They're both great books, man. And like
Grant says, speaking as a publisher, you have to start a project somewhere. And frankly, we need to market your book. It's true. We need to market it better.
We do.
I'm currently working on a solo book.
He is. He's ditched me.
I've ditched Brad. It's a very, very nerdy personal book, all about my year in beer. So,
good name.
Do you reckon that's the name? My year in beer. I don't think I've got the level.
I thought it was Beer Here Now. That was something that mooted at one point.
I did moot that while I was pitching it.
Was that for the? Was that
an Oasis?
One of the other books, wasn't it? That was one of the other books.
It still doesn't have a name, but basically it's my year in beer, and we're going seasonally like apple harvest, hop harvest, Oktoberfest. Yeah. When the American hops come to the UK, when spontaneous brewing in winter,
sort of cultural highlights of the year. Yeah. Around beer and why it's such a joyous thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's trying to go like, it doesn't matter what time of beer, because I know that people don't drink seasonally. We all drink IPA and lager all the time. And maybe in winter we have a little bit more dark beer, or Christmas we have slightly stronger beer to match with the food. Like, I know that we don't really drink seasonally, but it is produced seasonally and we see it seasonally. Like, we're sat here in October drinking lager, which is kind of contrary to perceived wisdom. Like in autumn, people are like, oh, well, you turn to your stouts, and we're like, no, fucking blonde lager. That's what we're after. Mate. Yeah. If you had to buy any beer book, what would you buy? Other than our own? I would buy. Yeah, I'd buy Tasting Beer by Randy Mosher. If you're more into the narrative stuff, if you want like a story, a bit of history, something like a long form rather than like geeking out about beer, anything by Pete Brown. Pete Brown is the best, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Orator?
Yeah. Yeah, I get he's the best actual writer, the best storyteller in beer. His books, 3 Sheets to the Wind, Man Walks Into a Pub, all of them are fantastic. And he's done some sort of more listicle books and more geeky books, and they're good, but they're like everyone else's. But his proper narrative historical books are fucking amazing. He's described as the Bill Bryson of beer.
Not bad.
Which I think is kind of fair. He's much better researched than Bill. Bill is all about his personal experience. Pete's done the research. He's checked it all. And yeah, Man Walks Into a Pub. It's super dated now because it was written nearly 30 years ago, but it's still an incredible book.
Wow.
And to subvert that question a little bit, if I could watch anybody talk about beer, it's Michael Jackson. Google Beer Hunter. Don't Google Beer Hunter. Go on YouTube and look up Beer Hunter and see Michael Jackson. Everything's changed as well. He never said anything negative, which is the biggest criticism leveled against him. Like, he was back in a time where people didn't give a shit about beer. So he was just like trying to champion it. But the places he went, the history you'll see, and the way that he describes beer is amazing. And without Michael Jackson, we wouldn't exist. Pete Brown wouldn't exist. Melissa Cole wouldn't exist. Randy Mosher wouldn't exist. Garrett Oliver, he might not have got into beer and not studied and created, the Brooklyn, the liquids of Brooklyn anyway. Michael Jackson and Pete Brown would be my tips. Somebody, I think it's the same person who keeps asking about this. How's the Verdant NE IPA holding up? It's all drunk.
Obviously,
we're not
going to wait around with
that. The bottles did oxidize quite quickly, so I had a bottle about 4 weeks after the video went live, and it was oxidized, and that came from the transfer to keg. Transfer from keg to bottle. There was also some oxidation in the transfer from fermenter to keg, which we didn't get right, which is why we didn't show it, because we haven't got that process completely nailed down. So once we do, we will show that in another video to show you how best to do it. But we thought we got very low oxidation, but not low enough that we thought that anybody should use it as a guide. And like literally everything we show on the Craft Beer channel with homebrew, and indeed most of our other stuff, is we only show it once we know. Right? So you might see the journey of that, but we didn't want to show the journey of that because the journey was all about that use, that hop selection, and that conversation with James, which taught us so much. So, that bottle is oxidized. The keg didn't last long enough to oxidize, but there were notes of it coming through. And that's the great challenge with New England IPA.
Next beer, Johnny?
Next beer, final beer. No, God.
No, we've got a couple of beers.
Fuck. Oh, we're 2 hours. We're over 2 hours in. Let's go Schlenkerla, just in case we decide to bail. So let's go smoked. We are moving on to the Schlenkerla.
Might split this one.
Go on then. You split that bad boy. How are the comments doing? Hey, everyone's shouting to themselves. That's great. Have you ever tried a beer with CBD? Yes, we have. We did a video on it. We were up at our original Patreon. So our first main sponsor, Glen Affric Brewing, up in Birkenhead, just south of Liverpool, the other side of the Mersey. Come on, Brad.
Terrible head.
Show it. Head. What is that?
This one's better, though.
And bros it. Gemütlich. Okay.
Look at that.
Oh! Drei. Super. Liquid fucking bacon. What was I talking about before that?
Wish I bought Frazzles now. Glen Affric.
Glen Affric, yes. Why was I talking about Glen?
CBD beer.
CBD beer. Thank you, Bradley. Glad you're listening. Yes, so we tried some CBD beer. It adds some flavors. It's not huge flavors. You'd have to drink a lot of it to get the effect of the CBD. But then if you drink a lot of it, is it the alcohol or the CBD that's relaxing you, you know?
I think CBD beer is good, probably. I don't think it's a negative thing in the world. They use really good quality CBD. I held a bottle of it in my hand, which was, I think it was like a litre or half a litre, 500 ml, and it was worth something like, what was it worth? Like $5,000 or something.
3, I think.
$3,000 or something, this liquid CBD, which they put into like a small amount of it into a huge batch of beer. But it was like a sort of rocket pack, sort of metal flask, maybe something that you might get on a sort of sci-fi film. Maybe it would hold some sort of volatile substance. But I'm just reading Frazzles now because I love Frazzles. And when I was in Lidl earlier, Johnny, I nearly bought a packet of Frazzles for this, and I resisted.
Frazzles is in Lidl.
Yeah, they got Frazzles in there. They did today. They certainly have them today. The only thing I got was some chocolate wafers. I don't know where they've gone, but like some sort of German wafery things, which maybe they've got something in which could work with this beer. I don't know. What do you think?
What time are we finishing? Good question. Brad's just gone to get more food. Usually we end these by 2.5 hours. That's what we usually aim for. We're slightly behind time, so I reckon we've got 20 minutes to go.
20 minutes, yeah, 20 minutes.
Oh dear. There you go. There it is.
Surprisingly, didn't cause any damage. I'm pros it.
We just did that.
Huh? Oh, okay.
We can do it.
These, I got these in little.
Can you pronounce that?
Locker.
Loaka.
Loaka.
Depends where they're from. What have you? I mean, what?
I think they were German wafers. Do you know what they sort of? I looked at the packet and I thought they reminded me of pink wafers.
You know, it's going to be a horrible match with this.
Yeah. Probably.
Right, good.
Like bit of chocolate, bit of smoky, like a smoky chocolate.
No, it's going to be the worst. Who wants smoky chocolate?
I mean, nobody probably. I like a little bit of chocolate with my smoke.
I forget who encouraged him to do this. Any plans to go to Bamboo? Yes. That was going to be part of this year's trip for our documentary. Sadly, that isn't going to happen this year, but we will get around to it. You're on the wrong camera for us to see your react. Oh, no, actually, that's best. Smoking chocolate, what you got?
Yeah.
Horrible?
It's not horrible. It's not
great. Who covers bacon in chocolate? Maple syrup? Sure. Honey? Sure.
There's no magic there, Johnny. It's jarring.
The Craft Beer channel does not condone this behaviour.
No, I just needed a sweet treat.
Right.
I chose a terrible time to get it.
You did.
Probably
it's not going to get any better.
That sausage right now.
Yes, so we will be there for Smoky Boys eventually. We had it all planned and then COVID hit. So that fell apart, but that is a documentary we're going to be working on. Dimitri says, cheers from Moldova. Amazing.
Moldova.
Very excited to have a viewer in Moldova.
I feel like we sent out a Patreon to Moldova, maybe.
Oh, we did. Was that you, Dimitri?
If it was, thank you, mate. We really appreciate your patronage.
There's definitely somebody from Moldova. I remember reading a book. Tony Hawk's, not the pro skater.
Yeah.
Comedian.
Okay.
He's most famous for writing a book called Round Island with a Fridge. He's a man who takes on bets. So he was bet that he couldn't hitchhike Round Island with a fridge, and he did. Mm-hmm. He then, I think the next one was he bet his friend that he couldn't beat the entire Moldovan football team at tennis. So he went over to Moldova.
So what are they like? There are 12 of them against him on a
no, not in one. No. He tries to beat them all individually.
Oh.
So some of them are very good at tennis, and some of them are not.
Some of them are shit. Yeah.
So he goes over to Moldova and tries to take them all on at tennis.
I feel like he's mocking Moldova with that.
Well, I mean, they're not a famous tennis nation, but it's an amazing book in which essentially he learns a lot about Moldova, which, the time that was written maybe 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, people had really no idea. Like,
not a lot of idea. Soviet bloc.
Soviet bloc kind of country.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing book, and he's a comedian, so he writes it very well. And then he also did one, where it's a piano through the Pyrenees, in which he tries to take his beloved piano when he moved to the Pyrenees.
Why does he want to move stuff around?
Well, the first two were bet. He also did One Hit Wonderland, which was where he got bet by somebody that he couldn't have a top 20 hit anywhere in the world. So he wrote a song, and eventually I think he managed it in Albania.
So he's like a Dave Gorman type character.
Yeah, he does challenges. Yeah.
I like it.
And I think he managed it in Albania. He tried, but it was amazing. Like, he tried to do it he went to Nashville and tried to have a top 20 hit.
Good luck.
Country song.
Like a fucking country song, man. That's tough.
Yeah.
They're great songs.
Well, I think maybe he did it for the story, perhaps, in Nashville, rather than... But yeah, very entertaining writer. That's my own experience in Moldova, which makes me feel real sad because his writing of it was that it was full of beautiful people and opportunity that's had a rough time. So It's wonderful to hear. I'd love to know what the craft beer movement is like in Moldova. I'd love to hear where that's at. And if it's starting to kick off, that'd be very exciting to hear.
Amazing.
Got some more questions coming through. Sorry if it's been asked already. How do you guys feel about the rise of supermarket craft beer? Do you think it's a positive thing for craft breweries?
I mean, it's not unless you're in the supermarket, and then it's not really either because you're going to get terrible money for the beer you're making, probably at volume. So all in all, not great, probably, unless you're someone like Brewdog who's set up for volume at that level. But saying that as well, I also think craft beer in a supermarket is great. Anything that can get people to drink better beer en masse can only help the scene.
I agree. We just got to, so we've had a super chat come in, so we're just going to pop to that and then we'll come back. How about lagers brewed with quake? That can't be lager.
It takes too long to make a lager, surely.
Well, quake is top fermenting. As far as
yeah. That doesn't make sense. Is that a thing? I don't know about
I don't know. You'll have to explain more.
Can we...
Mihai Pleska 912.
Can we, Johnny, could we do a video where we make a lager with a quake?
Well, so we'd ferment it. We'd ferment it at the temperature the quake likes and then crash it and lager it.
Could that speed up lager production to a crazy extent?
Well, no, if anything, it would slow it because with quake you get loads of aroma from it. And then you
got to lager it.
Crush it and then you got to lager it until it all disappears. No.
What do I make of it? I don't know about it, so I don't know what I make of it, but it sounds very odd.
Sounds like the antithesis. Quake and lager are the two opposite things.
But I quite like that when you bring two things together that shouldn't work. Maybe they do work.
But why would you lager a quake? Then you might end up with like a really fruity Kolsch. Fuck no. Okay. My hype Leska 912. Have you tried this? Have you done a quake yeast and then lagered it? If you have, let us know. We'll give it a go. But generally, like that's a high ester producing, very fast fermenting yeast. If you lagered that, you'd start to meet the character that you wanted originally. And also, I don't know what would happen with quake yeast if you try to do it at 12 degrees. You might end up with autolysis, like the yeast just giving up the ghost and farting out like soy sauce kind of flavors.
Yeah.
Don't know. Let us know. Anyway, back to the question. Amazingly, lots of people know Tony Hawk, so that's great to know. Morris Mine in the Majors. The One Hit Wonderland, his book, he had a top 20 hit in the UK. It's called Stutter Rap. And it was kind of a bit reductive. It was like three white guys trying to be rappers, but they had stutters.
Like legitimate stars? Or
No, they were pretending to.
Oh, I don't like that.
And they got to like top 20 with that. It was a very silly, quite funny song. Also made lots of jokes about like, was it No Sleep Till
Brooklyn,
and they did No Sleep Till Bedtime, stuff like that. And so he was somebody made a bet that he could never have another one. So then he ended up, he traveled all over the world and ended up in Albania and got a top 20 hit with Norman Wisdom, I think. He was big in Albania. Anyway.
I mean, he's not big anywhere. He's a very small man. I think he might have died a couple of years ago.
Yeah, he did die, yeah. But Dimitri says he actually opened a care center in Moldova and he's a great guy.
Oh, awesome.
Or like a care center for
old people, I'm imagining.
For old people, that'd be amazing. He's a really lovely guy and still, he's still on Radio 4 lots and he's a very funny and genuine man. Wait, fuck off. Wait. I was in the film he made of playing the Moldovans at tennis. Rasko and/or Disco, explain that. Because when I was really getting into writing books, and particularly autobiographies and stuff like that, I used to love Tony Hawk. So if you were involved in the filming of that, that is amazing. Please
good bragging rights.
Great bragging rights. Victoria, Big Six Oktoberfest beers, which is the best? I'm going to say Hackashore because I've drunk lots more of it and always enjoyed it. but Augustina in my mind is better. But I've only had it once. I had one mass of it, and I loved it. But science requires repeat consumption.
It does. You need to, sort of test it out.
Yeah.
En masse, as it were.
Opinions on sausages with cheese inside. That's one for you.
I mean, I have nightmares about inside out cheeseburgers where they've got cheese that's inside a meat patty that is undercooked, so it's like rare, and then there's like bloody cheese popping out the side of it. So for me, that's a no.
Back to homebrewing. More or less what I've read and heard from his videos from David Heath. Love David Heath. Talks a lot. He often does pseudo lagers with quake, and according to him, it works. I'm not going to argue with David. We'll just have to give it a go and go like, how quick can you make a lager that tastes like lager?
We need to get David on the phone and do a sort of collab with David, I reckon.
I mean, he's all voiceover.
Pseudo lager.
He just films some shit and then goes, and then I'll voice over this. Yeah. So maybe we can give that a go. That would be fun. Our kind of shtick with homebrew is going to be asking the experts. So when we do pastry stout, we're going to try and get Al Apollo. When we do West Coast IPA, we're going to try and get Vinny from Russian River. When it comes to like just straight up homebrew tips, we go to David Heath.
David Heath's the man.
Yeah. So we'll look for that. Guys, we are coming to the end of the Oktoberfest show. I hope you've really enjoyed it. We're still very open to taking any questions from you. I apologize we didn't get to the Jever. I can tell you that it's a northern German Pilsner. It's very bitter. It's got a high sulfate level. You're going to get lots of dank hop, lots of almost popcorn-esque grain notes, and it's a delicious beer that you should neck with gay abandon. And that's about all I can tell you about that one. We're still going to take some questions. We don't want to wind this up super quick because I'm sure that you guys might have some stuff you want to ask or some conversations you're having online with other people. So please don't wind those up quite yet. Cowboy in Sweden says, "Where the fuck's Jeff?" Well, no, he says Jeff, but I say, "Where the fuck?"
Well, Jeff,
show Jeff.
I can do this.
Brad's going to work it out. We're going mobile, people. We're going mobile.
Where's Jeff?
He's hidden. He's just about there. You can just see him above my blue bag.
Okay.
Jeff, oh, there's one eye open because she's heard us saying Jeff.
Here's Jeff.
So in focus. Look at that beauty. Isn't she a beautiful cat?
Just my baby. Although she did scratch my eyelid about a month and a half ago and had to go to casualty.
Oh my God, what?
Yeah,
you didn't tell me that.
She ripped the top of my eye open.
Again?
No, that was before. That was like a month ago. I told you about that, didn't I?
Jeffrey.
Yeah, she
now you want to get out of my way.
Johnny's at it now. Yeah, so I had to go to casualty because if you get a cat bite, it's pretty serious, and they've got all sort of crazy, sort of bacteria under their claws and stuff. I was hugging her. I was embracing Jeff. Jeff's my little buddy. I love Jeff. And she struggled away from me. She kicked me in the eye, but with her like sort of back rabbit foot, and she just scratched across my eyelid from one side to the other and ripped the eyelid open. So it looked pretty gross. It was like I'd been in a sort of Jean-Claude Van Damme Bloodsport film, and someone had busted my eyelid open. But it was actually my cat. So anyway, I rang, the sort of 101 number, and I told them what had happened. And they were like, "You need to go to casualty ASAP because you can get cellulitis, which is where your skin basically breaks down, and you could basically turn into a zombie." So they were like, "Yeah, I need to have like antibacterial shots and all." I did a course of antibiotics. Quite a big deal. And like I've obviously ran into a tree in the past, and I nearly blinded myself in one eye.
Did
At our third ex-member's 40th birthday.
I remember waking up in the morning, coming out. So it was the 40th birthday out in the forest, and we came out to the fire where everyone had been partying the night before. And it was just Brad with frozen peas just on his eye.
Fuck, man. I was like, my eye was just weeping. That was the most pain, like physical pain I've experienced in my life.
And then super weirdly, I did the same injury a couple of years later. I did it in my sleep. So I just like, I don't know, like I had an itch or something, and just in my sleep, I just went straight across my eye, and I still have trouble with it.
Well, like mine, if I have a really hot shower, the injury flaps open, and it feels like my eye is like pierced again.
Yeah.
And I talked to Moorfields about this, and they're like, "Yeah, you've done that now, so it's going to happen."
Yeah. That's what they said to me.
So yeah, it's like a weakness.
So don't let cats or twigs near your eyes.
No.
Jen says, "Good to know we have a cat that likes to kick." I mean, just get a dog. You know,
I mean,
they
dogs
won't
are great.
kick you in the face. Well, maybe some of them will, but get a short dog. Cats can get corona. I've heard that.
Well, one of the first things I heard about coronavirus in February or something was that like tigers had it in New York or Berlin or something, and that this is before it was like worldwide pandemic. And I really worried that my cats were going to get it, and then like some sort of arsehole was going to come and like want to put them down. So that was my, I worry about everything, and I was like, I've been worried that like people are going to come and say cats are now illegal, like in Isle of Dogs, the Wes Anderson film where dogs are suddenly.
Yeah, but I don't think that should be like an indication of where policy is going around cats or dogs.
No, me neither. But I was, when I heard that big cats have got it, I was like, it's time to batten down and get some armory going on.
I mean, Jeff's a house cat anyway.
No, Jeff goes out. Jeff roams.
No, but she does because the door's open. She doesn't need to go out.
I mean, all cats are wild, man. They all need to roam.
Bit of philosophy there from Brad. So we've had a super chat from Liam who says, "Do you know why smoke beer became a thing?" Yes. So almost, if we go back maybe 300 years, all beer would have been wild. It would have had some wild notes, particularly if it was aged. And all beer would have been smoked to some extent, because what they hadn't worked out was how to kiln, how to roast, how to malt their barley without adding some smoky aromas. So the UK actually, in the early 1800s, invented the notion of indirect kilning. So they'd find a way to caramelize those sugars, create that create that kilned process without making your malt smoky. So if you went back to the 1700s, you would have had slightly wild, slightly smoky beers, somewhere around Grodzicka, which is still a Polish style, which is smoky sour beer.
I want to brew a smoky sour beer now.
We'll get there. We will do that.
Yeah.
It's a unique flavor, but that's how a lot of those beers would have tasted. And you'd have had regional variation, because obviously in Germany, you'd have had those dark beers that were aged in caves for a long, long time, because they had those lager yeast, they had those lower temperatures, and they'd have had smoky notes, but they'd have had less of that wild character. Whereas in the UK, Brettanomyces, which is known as a Belgian yeast, Brettanomyces means British yeast. So they'd have had lots of funk, farmyard, and stuff like that, as well as being slightly smoky from that malting process, because they couldn't heat the malt without the smoke getting in. So you have this. All beer back then would have had some smoky notes, some sour notes, or some bretty notes, and we slowly sort of reined in nature and slowly worked out better ways of doing it, to the point where smoky kind of beer and particularly really heavily roasted beer. So lots of beer would have been dark back then, but we worked out how to indirectly avoid the smoke and avoid like really high temperatures as we worked out how best to do it. You got less smoky, less roasted, more pale. And that's what happened with Pilsner Urquell when lager was invented. We had really pale malt by then from the UK's processes. We had German yeasts that were producing these really low fermentations with not a lot of esters going on and not a lot of bacteria happening. And then that was combined with the decoction processes, the soft water and the SARS hops that created Bohemian Pilsner, Czech Pilsner as it was.
Amazing.
So yeah, smoke would have always been the way and was slowly sort of reduced as the centuries went on towards that moment. I hope that makes sense to you. Sam Congdon, great show again. Little plug. Looking forward to our 4th birthday brew with Yonder in December.
A
single loop barrel of damsons with forage. I've seen photos. The color is beautiful. Please, if you're ever down in Plymouth, do go support Vessel. Amazing shop, lovely people. And Yonder, who I work with very closely, so full disclosure on that, make fantastic mostly foraged wild ales and also some delicious lagers.
Yeah.
And a great bitter made with a Norwegian farmhouse yeast.
We were drinking one before we started, weren't we?
You had Subculture, their pale ale, which is they do a tank of Brettanomyces fermented pale ale. They do a tank of Lacto and their normal house yeast fermented. They add a load of hops, all British hops, biotransformed. So during fermentation and then blend it. And it's like juicy, sour, lemony deliciousness.
Yeah, it's tip top.
Yeah, really
nice
exciting brewery who I work for and Sam closely supports. So you're right there. Good plug, Sam. Daniel Cox. Oh, hi, chaps. Love the channel, of the show. Can you explain the difference between stout and porter? Whoa!
Oh, we've done videos on this.
So yeah, we've done. Did we do what is imperial stout? Have we done what is porter and stout?
We need to do that, but we've done.
Yeah, we do need to do that video. So I guess super short history is porter is an old English, London specifically style. It was brewed for the street porters, so lower working class, working class people who were drinking very cheap, low ABV beer that would have been, directly kiln. So it would have been smoky, would have been dark, and that's what they could afford. And they'd have drunk the fresh stuff, which would have been known perhaps as mild. He had mild, and then he had stale. Stale was not a bad thing. It was like the aged stuff that would have been a bit funkier, a bit richer in alcohol. And that was known as porter. So London porter for the porters of London. Stout is actually comes about because stout was a stronger version of porter, so a more expensive version of porter. So it was called stout porter. So it was stronger stuff. It was brewed and aged, and because there would have been fermentable sugar left over, porter would have been quite sweet. Stout would have been much drier. All the sugar was gone. More funk was coming in. So almost another word for stale. Guinness changed all of that. So Guinness came along, making a really dry, really roasty stuff that would have used pale malt and super roasted malt using the older methods, and that became Irish stout. So they kind of lost this idea of stout being stronger than porter, this idea of stout porter. It became dried out, became a different style, much more roasty. So port went off in this direction, and nowadays we see porter as sweeter, fruitier, less roasted malt, more pale malt, more specialty malt, and stout is seen as drier, roastier. Used to be seen as stronger, but now not, like porter and stout is seen as a similar level, which means that actually when people call it imperial stout, mostly it's imperial porter because it's very sweet, it's very fruity. So it's a bit of a weird situation where that definition has been lost. But originally, stout, porter were the same thing. Porter was one strength, stout was stronger, and that's what the difference was. And it's all changed from there, basically. So we're going to do lots more research into that and get the exact dates, the exact moments, the people who were changing all of that. And we will do a video, either what is stout or what is porter, depending on which question is more frequently asked. that's how we do that. We pick a style, pick the styles that are confused with it, and pick the most popular one to get the most people who asked the question, which is why people got pissed off about our what is Pilsner, which we talked a lot about Helles. You're like, yeah, we're explaining what Pilsner is, which means explaining what Helles is. So please do give porter and stouts some goes and see if you can taste the difference. But should be fruitier, lower ABV, and less bitterness from the actual malt. You might get a little bit more hop bitterness, but kind of depends. Right. Where are we? I have... Oh, there we go. Least favorite beer style, milkshake IPA.
That's not great, yeah.
Main Beer Co., fantastic brewery. We wish we could have visited them when we did our documentary, but sadly we didn't have time and they didn't respond to our emails. Heartbreak. Right, so we're going to wind it up now. Thank you so much for all of your comments, all of your time that you spent with us. I hope you've had an amazing time. I hope you've had some lovely food, some lovely beer. It's been an absolute joy for us. This one was a bit chaotic. Like, Brad and I have been incredibly busy. Like, I'm trying to move house and I just got married. It's just been a bit nuts. Brad's had some big contracts to work on. So it's been chaotic, but actually it's been one of our best. Thank you so much for all of the interaction that we've had.
Yeah, it's been great. Ben, boys, don't tell me we'll have to wait almost 2 months for your next live show. I certainly hope not. I guess we need to find a theme for the next live show. I mean, I'd like to work with a brewery and focus on a particular brewery. If anyone's got any ideas of a brewery that we should champion and maybe reach out to and drink some of their beers, then reach out, get in touch.
If you guys have questions or comments or breweries that you want us to work with for the live shows, please do drop us an email, craftbeerboys@gmail.com. If you could put a little question in there and we can put it on our podcast, even better. So please do that. But it won't be 2 months for sure. Like, we try to do these monthly and we've just got carried away by everything over the last.
He got married and he's got, Johnny's been incredibly busy. And we've this is something we love doing, isn't it, Johnny? But also, you've got you've got a life beyond this.
No,
so
currently, I don't want to have one. No. We're trying to turn this into a full-time job.
Yeah.
So we're getting there. So there will be, if everything goes well in November, we will have our 100,000 sub celebration.
Yes.
So I really hope that can happen. We'll have a live show for that. But either way, there will be one next month. I promise you. And we just need to pick a theme for that. So if you have ideas, do let us know. But yeah, we are building up to 100,000 subscribers, which is the most bizarre and amazing celebration that we can have. And we will be doing it justice, and we will be launching that new platform around then that we talked about earlier. So please do join in for that. Now I'm doing it, Bradley. Please do join us for that. And I can't tell you how much it means that there's so many people that really support what we do. So thank you so much, Ben, for your final donation just there. Thanks so much for Ben with your celebration interaction, and everyone else that's been chiming in all of this evening. We will be back within a month. We are uploading every single Wednesday and every single Friday on our podcast, and we will have a 100K celebration, hopefully in just over a month's time. But there will be a live show happening and lots of changes then and lots more homebrew shit going on. So I guess we should finish with a final.
I've got no beer. Give me some beer. Oh, I'm going on to Yava. Okay.
He's cracking the Yava for the final goodbye.
Where's the thing? What's the fucking...
Here it is.
Oh, you got it. Oh.
Lovely table. Guys, thank you so much, and girls, for everything that you've done with us for the whole time, and indeed for tonight. We will see you guys in a month or so for a November live show. Please do join our Patreon because everything's about to change. You just hit yourself in the face with a bottle.
I hit my tooth. It really hurt. Fuck. Things are about to change. Brad's about to lose his front teeth.
Brad's going to come back looking like a pirate. And it's all downhill from there. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. I hope you have an amazing October. I hope you stay safe, but you stay having fun. And I hope that if you have any troubles, anything you want to talk about, please do contact any of us, whoever you think is best or whoever you think of at the time. And we will see you in just over a month, either for a 100K celebration or some kind of commiseration while we wait until December for Christmas. And don't forget, our annual Christmas video is coming, and we have some plans for that are just plain silly. So love and beer. Be good to everyone and stay safe. Much love.